Gotta rank 'em all, Pokemon.
Welcome to Splunkers, a place for exploring video games and nerd culture. I'm Ryan, and this is Gotta Rank 'em All, the Pokemon ranking show, where Chris,
That's me,
and myself every week get a guest and a list of 20 random Pokemon and put them in the most officially arbitrary list of all time. Our awesome guest this week is... Oh, wait, it's another Chris. This is going to be fun for me tonight. We've got Chris Logan.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I almost spoke up when you said Chris. I'm like, wait, that one's not me. I'm probably the second Chris who's going to introduce.
I didn't think of that until as I was saying Chris's name in the intro.
A bit of a common name. It was bound to happen.
I mean, for sure. Eventually, I'm sure we'll get another Ryan on here. Won't be the only one. But thanks for joining us tonight. Blah, 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 blah.
you're doing it.
So before we get into tonight's rankings, I have one question for all of our new guests, and that's just let people know your history with the Pokemon series so they understand where you're coming from with the ranks tonight.
Oh, for sure. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. So excited to be on here. Talk some Pokemon. I'm going to make you guys proud. I'm going to be an awesome guest. I promise. As far as my history of Pokemon, started way back in the 90s. So 1998, when that first game comes out to us in America here, my older brother, he's 4 years older than me, he got the game. He's explaining the process to me, what it's all about, catching these Pokemon, making them fight. And he got Pokemon Blue. And our plan was to pass it back and forth and share it. But we quickly realized you can only have one save file per cart. So I got Pokemon Red. That was my game. Played it on the gray brick Game Boy back in the day. Beat the game. I didn't collect all 151. That wasn't the main appeal to me, but I beat all the gym leaders, the Final Four and everything. And then I never picked up another Pokemon game. The gens kept coming, and I didn't have all the future handheld systems, didn't have a way to play them. So from an outsider's perspective, I knew it was kind of just doing the same formula over and over again. And I had such an attachment to the original 151 that I didn't get sucked back in. So other than Gen 1, let's see, I've played the newest new Pokemon Snap. I played the heck out of that.
Nice.
Loved it. So I've learned a lot of new Pokemon that way. And then when Pokemon Go came out in 2016, I made it a point not to download it because I knew I would lose my life to it. I met my now wife in 2017 who played it. And so for 2018, 2019, I finally downloaded the game. And just like I thought would happen, got super into it. So I had 2 solid years of playing the crap out of Pokemon Go. We would travel on community days. We would go to hot spots. I mean, spent real money in that game, way into it. So I learned a lot of Pokemon that way. So I know a decent amount. There's nothing some we'll be talking about today that I was not familiar with, but I know a decent amount, I think, just kind of through periphery ways, not really the main games.
I mean, I've played every single generation, and there's a name or two in here that still were oh, right, that's a Pokemon on this list this evening. So Don't feel too bad. There's a lot out there to try and remember. And just before we get into the rankings tonight, let's recap the list just a little bit. At the top 3, we've got Decidueye, Mega Charizard X, and Shuckle. Way down scraping the bottom of the barrel, we've got Jinx at 438, Yungoos at 437, and Bruxish at 436. And in the 215 range, that's roughly the middle, we've got Guzzlord at 215, Quilladin at 216, and Mega Houndoom at 217. Oh, God, Guzzlord, that name.
Such a bad name.
I also love that you basically are gonna have to say Jinx every single episode. That was their first episode. That came pretty early, right?
Yeah.
Went right to the bottom of the list, and nothing is ever gonna dethrone Jinx. You know that is always gonna be there, no matter how horrible a Pokemon is. With Jinx, with that history, nothing's gonna dethrone it. So it'll just forever be at the bottom of your list, making you read it.
It's the lowest bar.
It's
gotten not a name like Bruxish. That one's just hard to say.
Yeah.
Jinx has gotten a lot of exposure, I guess, from us, unfortunately.
At least it's all negative, though. It's it's the bottom of the list. It's not moving. It's buried down there.
Yep. Where Jinx belongs.
There's this Cyanide and Happiness comic. I'm sure you guys seen those online, where I'm reminded of this every time you guys mention Jinx at the bottom. One of the characters says, "Man, I'm having the worst day," and this other character is like, "Is it worse than 9/11?" And he's just like, and he walks off. And so I complained about any Pokemon, you can just be like, but is it worse than Jinx? No. No.
Oh, that's a good comic to keep in the back of the mind for not so poor old Jinx there. But let's see where the 21 Pokemon we have tonight fit above Jinx on this list. Our first option for this evening is Gen 8 starter Grookey.
Grookey's freaking adorable.
Very adorable. That's the first thing that pops out, how adorable the Pokemon is. Mm-hmm. And in ranking, this is, as you guys say, this is a very scientific, legit ranking system. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking this very seriously. I have a sort of system that I'm judging all these by, and 3 categories. First one is creativity of the design. Mm-hmm. The second category is relatability, as Pokemon are almost always based on something in the real world. And then the third one is the cute/cool factor. I feel like every Pokemon design is either going for cuteness or coolness, more or less. So Grookey, I've got an 8 in the creativity. It looks great. It's kind of monkeyish, kind of like that bird beak thing going on. Relatability, a 7, not quite as high because, again, is it kind of bird, kind of monkey? It's a little hard to, the more you stare at it, the weirder it gets, even though it looks so cute at first. But undeniably, got a 9 in the cute category. That thing's adorable. I love I love when like weapons are incorporated. It's got the stick thing and its hair that it uses. Very smart, very clever. I think this guy's going places on our list, guys.
Could be. This was my first starter pick for Gen 8 because I do think of the 3 first forms, Grookey's the one I like the most. That cute factor is pretty good, but you're right. The more I stare at it, especially the face, the coloring around the eyes is very bird-like, along with that beak.
Yeah.
You would think it would, like, oh, it's going to be a grass flying type or something. It's going to turn into a bird, but it doesn't. It's just a bigger monkey later. Mm-hmm. I also like that it uses that little stick to drum, which obviously is a much bigger thing for its evolutions, but it does it a little bit too. Like these starters have a little bit of an advantage in terms of cuteness because it's the first game that's in full 3D, right? So you get to kind of see them run around and be goofy in that intro to that game, the intro to Sword and Shield.
Yeah, that's true.
Now I know, Ryan, you don't really like any of the Gen 8 starters though. You abandoned this little monkey.
I did eventually abandon this monkey. I trained it all the way up. I had a Thwacky and a Rillaboom, but that wound up just getting put in the PC. I don't know. I think this is, of all 8 generations, just none of them are very strong for me.
Now that you mention it, you're reminding me it evolves into Thwacky. The name isn't great. Grookey. I mean, that doesn't really evoke anything fun in your head. It doesn't really look like Grookey. You kind of get used to it, like most of these Pokemon. They all have weird names, but Grookey, not one of the best.
Yeah, what are they going for there with the Gru?
I assume monkey is the second half, but I don't know. Gru.
So some drumming thing in some other country that we don't know about.
Groove monkey?
Maybe.
Oh, I like the name a little bit more now.
Yeah, that's a notch or 2 better.
Do we have any good Pokedex entries?
Well, just Sword and Shield, and Sword mentions how it uses that stick to strike up a beat, and the sound waves produced carry revitalizing energy to plants and flowers in the area. And Shield talks about using that stick to attack enemies with amazing speed. So it's all about that stick life.
All right, well, looking at the list, we have Bulbasaur at 202. I like this better than Bulbasaur.
Wow.
Y'all know me. I'm a Bulbasaur hater.
Yeah. It sounds about right. I like this design more than I like Bulbasaur's design. Bulbasaur is just very green. Chris is ready to hang the call up. It's like, I can't believe you're blaspheming Bulbasaur like this.
No. I mean, that's just, I have a little bit of a affinity for this original 151 above all others. So just to hear a name like Bulbasaur get trashed like that, but he's not like my guy. I'm not a Bulbasaur guy. I can pick Grookey above Bulbasaur. That's fine.
Okay, so we also have Ivysaur at 171. Ryan?
That's above Swampert. I think that's a problem.
I'm not a middle evolutions. I'm not a big fan. I think they're almost always the weakest of the three.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the time they are.
Yeah, typically.
So we all agree above Ivysaur.
That's above Swampert, though.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
That's a whole other issue. That's been done. That's.
But even.
What's
seeing
right
Swampert
above
there, like.
What's right above Ivysaur?
Dewott is right
yeah,
above.
which is another starter.
I don't know what that is.
That's the middle form of the water starter from Gen 5.
Another middle form. Automatically, Grookey goes above that. It's a middle form.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Then there's Stoutland, which is just a big dog, but it is a dog, which is pretty cute. And then there's, well, above that is another middle form Croconaw. That's middle starter.
Middle form, though.
It is. It's like it invokes Caveman, which is fun. It's a fun design.
Yeah.
How is there a Pokemon that's just a dog? Like animals exist in the Pokemon world, right? There's dogs.
I don't know if they do.
There's a Pokemon that looks like a dog. They don't.
Because people just keep Meowths, right?
Well, like Pikachu is the mouse type Pokemon, so you'd assume a mouse exists.
That's true.
Otherwise, how would they know to call it that?
That's funny.
I mean, this is the chimp Pokemon, so.
So if I throw a Pokeball at a chimp, what happens to it?
You have a new Pokemon.
Maybe they're just like in a parallel universe that's split off from ours, so they know what these things are, but they don't have them.
Okay. Sure.
Marvel multiverse stuff here. Okay, so I'm feeling like probably right below Croconaw, but above Stoutland, the Doge.
As long as it's below Swampert.
That's not happening, sir.
Above the dog, below. I do know Croconaw, so above the dog, below Croconaw sounds good to me.
I don't even want this above Hitmontop. I don't like Grookey that much. I've got to speak out. It's going to happen, but I've got to speak out. New 169 Grookey. All right, 169. That's good. But better Pokemon should be above you. I don't know, Grookey. Why do you have a beak? You're a monkey. It's the wrong mouth for that animal.
It is weird. And if you look at that beak, if you were to cover up everything else except the beak, it is a cute little orange smiley face. Oh, that gives you any points.
That's true.
No, it's one of those things like if this character was in Detective Pikachu in the movie where they made it like realistic looking, it would be hideous. It would be terrifying. An actual beak on a monkey, it would not work there. It only works in this cartoon style.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Grookey, that's enough of you for this evening. We've got more Pokemon to rank. Next on the list, we've got a classic right in Chris's wheelhouse, Zubat.
Hang on. Boo! Everyone hates Zubat, right? I mean, just from the gameplay perspective, two steps in a cave, you got an encounter show up, and you know it's gonna be another freaking Zubat. So from that standpoint, the character was literally designed to annoy you, gameplay wise. And then aesthetically, I mean, this is ranking really low in my creativity. It's just a bat. Anytime I love Pokemon inspired by real life animals, but when it's straight up just a cartoon bat, there's not a lot of creativity going on there. The name is lame. It's got the word bat in it. They just put zoo in front of it. Relatability is strong because it's very clear that it's a bat. But I'm nosediving on my cool, cute factor. It's not cute. It's not cool. I give it a 5 on my scale. So I'm not a fan of this guy. I think he should go pretty low.
Yeah. Who is it in Draft Punks, Ryan, that is a Zubat stan? Do you remember? In the Gen 1 draft, somebody was really standing for Zubat to be picked by somebody, but I don't remember who it was.
No, I don't recall.
Well, so, you know what? They're not on this episode. So
that's true. That's true. They're just going to be very disappointed. You know, I never thought about the name, but I guess it's probably the zoo is from like Magic decks, where zoo is like a strategy where you swarm the enemy with a bunch of minions. Because I don't know where else zoo comes from other than like a zoo, but that doesn't seem right for this thing.
That's what I thought. Like, go to the zoo to see animals. That's why I thought it was so lame. Your answer was much smarter, though, and you're probably right.
Yeah, I think the evolutions kind of shine. especially Crobat. But yeah, Zubat, meh.
Where's Crobat on this list?
Crobat gets the extra wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Crobat is criminally low.
271.
Yeah, criminal.
Well, it can't go above Crobat though. This guy's got to go lower, right?
Oh, for sure. This is almost certainly hitting the 300s.
Above Jinx, below Crobat.
It's a good range to start with.
Is there anything interesting in the Pokedex?
Guess what, guys? This is a bat. It emits ultrasonic cries while it flies. Although bats do have eyes, repeated several times, it does not have eyes. It does not need eyes because it emits ultrasonic sounds. Remains quietly and moving in a dark spot during daylight hours. It's a bat.
Cool.
I do have my handy Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook. This is my daughter's. She's 10. She loves Pokemon. She was very helpful this week. I asked her a lot of questions about the Pokemon that I did not know. You guys can see in my book here, she put a sticky note on every page of the book that has a Pokemon we're talking about today. So shout out to Lily. That was super helpful. I could not do this without you. There is, I don't know if these are legit Pokedex entries, but there's a little snippet on each one of them. So in this book, it says, being in the sun isn't healthy for Zubat, so it spends all day sleeping in caves. Since it doesn't have eyes, it uses ultrasonic waves to detect its surroundings. So not only is it based on a bat, but the only thing interesting about this Pokemon is also the one thing people know about bats. It uses, ultrasound. So not getting any creativity points here.
Yeah,
sure.
No.
I don't think I ever noticed it doesn't have eyes, though. I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the design. It just has ears up there. It's kind of weird.
Maybe the eyes are behind the ears and it never doesn't face someone in that position, so we can't see them.
Maybe it's possible.
Possibility. But looking at the list, I keep scrolling below Roly Coly at 347.
I'm going much lower.
Even lower. Even
For
lower.
the obnoxious factor of this, I put it below Nidorino at 435. Which is all the way down at the bottom of our list almost.
Yeah, that's just a few spots from the very bottom. What's Dracovish?
That's one of those awful double fossil things. Don't look at it again.
I don't want to look at it again. This is better than that. So yeah, right below Nidorino feels good. How's that sound, Chris?
Perfect. Sounds low enough.
A new 436 Zubat. Terrible job, but you don't even know where you're at because you don't have eyes to see what number you're on the list. Next up, we've got Nickit, the fox Pokemon. A lot of animal Pokemon tonight.
I'm not crazy about that name, Nickit. I don't know what that's evoking. I just learned about this Pokemon for this week, to be fair. I haven't seen it pop up in any of the games I've played. I like the look, though. I like the sort of like war paint thing it has on. I'm thinking of the right Pokemon, right? Like a fox, like the white paint on his face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a cool look. I mean, there's already a few fox Pokemon, so it does a good job differentiating itself from previous fox Pokemon like Eevee or what was Ninetales' first form? Vulpix. There you go.
Well, Nickit. I like the name. Okay, Nickit is like a synonym for steal, basically. Like I nicked it from the store. Is a thing.
Huh. Okay, so it's like Swiper from Dora the Explorer.
Yes. Yes.
Which, I mean, fits with the evolution because it evolves into Thievul.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really.
You're kind of selling me on this Pokemon. You're kind of selling me on it. I like that.
Yeah, I'll say I don't really like the look on its face in this key art that's from like their official site. I don't know. He just is acting like he's got a lot of swagger, and I don't think he deserves it.
Yeah, there's also something almost
flirtatious,
sexual behind that. Yeah, that I'm not about. Although I do kind of like the smoke effect to the tail design. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like Chris was saying, like I was saying, no. I like that it goes a little further than just being a fox. His front paws look like little boots, like a Puss in Boots kind of deal, because they're a little bit thicker than his back paws, which is interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Add some flair to the legs.
What do we have in the Pokedex?
This is a thief, y'all. Sword, aided by soft pads on its feet, it silently raids the food stores of other Pokemon. It survives off ill-gotten gains. Shield, cunning and cautious, this Pokemon survives by stealing food from others. It erases its tracks with swipes of its tail as it makes off with its plunder. So that's why the tail is on the ground. It's using it like a little broom, so you can't follow it.
That's clever. That's
actually really
creative.
cool.
I like it.
I like that.
That is pretty good. I like that a lot. This Pokemon just went up in my estimation.
Yeah, so we've got its evolution, Thievul, at 298.
What generation is this? How recent is this Pokemon?
The most recent, Gen 8.
Okay, well, that's super impressive that this deep into creating Pokemon, they're still coming up with ideas that creative. Still making a fox that doesn't like any other fox. It's good. It's good to see. There's been some dodgy moments in Pokemon history. Some of the Pokemon they've created might come up later, but this one I like.
And this is just one Pokemon out of that generation. But they still know how to do it, at least. They still can complete their homework on time and with a grade A.
When they hit, right?
Mm-hmm. 298, there it is.
Yeah, so where do you guys feel, above or below Thievul? I think I'd go above, just from the broom tail thing. That's very creative and fun.
I think I'd also go above. Yeah.
It's got the cute factor going for it. That goes a long way.
Yeah, and it's a better cute factor than Thievul's cool factor. That mustache is not doing it for me.
Let's see. We've got Doduo at 296. Trying to find ones that we can compare it to that Chris will recognize. Do you like this more or less than Doduo?
I would say above Doduo, yeah.
Poliwrath at 285.
I like Poliwrath. That one's one of the weirder, at least of that first batch. They've since gotten much weirder, but the initial 151, Poliwrath is a pretty weird one. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I also like Poliwrath.
I think we're in the ballpark of where this Pokemon should land.
Okay, 2 spots below that, we have Coughing.
It's a classic. Kind of simple, maybe too simple of a Pokemon. I could see it going above Coughing.
Okay.
Yeah, I also like above Coughing. I think Coughing would have been much lower if it weren't for its presence in the show, where it is a big character, even though it barely has a personality even then.
But everybody, I hear it in my head every time I hear Coughing. Everybody, it's impossible not to do that when you think of them.
Yeah, that Pokemon's an earworm.
So then we've got Gastrodon, better or worse is basically the choice. That's a Gen 3 or 4? 4.
You guys can make that call. That's
okay. I'm gonna say above. I don't like Gastrodon.
I would also say above. But now I need to know which generation Gastrodon is from, or I'm not gonna be able to think right for it's Gen 4.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Lovely. All right. Thank you, Nickit. Please don't steal your place up this list any higher. There's a lot of Mons better than you, even though man, you know what? You're a lot better than I thought after learning your lore. Next on the list, we've got Torah Cat. I don't know why I thought this was better in my head.
It's not great. I'm not loving it.
This
I don't love it. It's the coloring's kind of cool, the orange and black, but it's just too busy. Like, I can tell it's supposed to be a cat, but there's nothing too striking about it. I'm only familiar with this because of Smash Bros, the most recent one, has Incineroar. So I'm vaguely familiar with this Pokemon, but again, it's a middle evolution. They're almost always the ugliest. I think it's definitely the case here. Litten has the cute factor, and Incineroar has the cool factor. This one's kind of just stuck in between. I don't like that little necklace thing it has.
Yeah.
No, it's not doing it for me.
I really hate the one hair coming up over the top of its head. It looks bad.
Looks real bad. Who told you to like hair gel that up like that, Torah Cat? Because they were misleading you.
And it's weird because Incineroar doesn't have that. Litten doesn't have it. It's only the Middle Evolution has this awkward long hair. It's like how like a Wartortle has like those little flash wings on the side of its head for some reason that I don't either one. I'm telling you, those middle Pokemon, they're dumb.
Yeah, he's going through his teenage years, you know, he thinks it's a good look. He'll regret it later.
Yeah, so I rank this pretty low in creativity. I don't think it's anything special about it. Relatability, you can tell it's a cat, but not interested beyond that. Doesn't have a cool or cute factor on either front. It's not doing it for me.
True. I agree.
Yeah, with you.
Is there good lore?
The name, it's got cat in it, but Torah, the only thing I think of is like the religious connotation, which I don't think is what they're going for. So I don't know where that comes from.
Oh man, now I just want a Bible cat though in Pokemon.
It has like a cross coming up the top of its head for its long hair.
It bears a bell of fire. The bell rings brightly whenever this Pokemon spits fire. It's got powerful front legs. It can bend an iron bar with a single punch. They can become spoiled if too close to a trainer.
My book says something similar, and it's very off-putting to me. Torah Cat attacks with its powerful punches from its front legs. The cat punches? Like, I understand Incineroar punching. It's like, you know, it's personified. It stands on two legs and has hands. This is like a cat, like a normal cat, and it punches. And I'm picturing it, and I don't like what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
I agree. I looked up Torah, by the way. Apparently, it's a Scottish baby name that means from the castle. I don't know how that applies to this Pokemon in any way, but there you go.
Huh. Interesting.
It doesn't need to go down in like Zubat territory. It's not that horrible. But it's definitely in the lower half of the list, I think.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Like, we have Incineroar on the list, but it's not even worth comparing. That's all the way up at 34, because that Pokemon's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Where do we compare, though, is the question.
That is the question. We have some other middle fire evolutions, but I mean, we have Braixen on here, but we liked Braixen, so that's not great. We have Combusken on here, who is surprisingly high for what Combusken is, what he looks like. At 183.
Pokemon's just a penis.
It really is. Unfortunate.
I kind of want to Google it, but I'm not going to.
No, you should. You should definitely Google it.
What's the name of this Pokemon?
Combusken. Combusken.
I'm sorry. What's that first syllable?
Come.
COM. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I know this one. It's God, these middle evolutions are horrible.
Yeah.
And I know this one from Pokemon Go, but I never thought of it as a penis until today. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
A cock, if you will.
That's the real goal of this show, is to just make sure all of our guests and the rest of the world knows that
we have ruined that Pokemon for a lot of people.
Yeah, we have. I was looking quite a bit lower, but
yeah,
maybe
I'm
too
looking
low.
at Tepig and Emboar. That's a 344, 347.
Okay, you know what? I wasn't quite that low, but
I think that's the territory for it. I don't know.
I think you're right. I do think I like Tepig more, but Emboar less.
Oof, yeah, Emboar's no good. Oh, and you know what? We've got two right between those that are Gen 1, Machop and Weepinbell. How do you feel about Machop and Weepinbell compared to this, Chris?
I like this less. Definitely less than Machop. Which one's higher of those two on your list?
Machop.
Are they next to each other, Machop and Weepinbell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can slide it right in between them.
Excellent. I like that.
Perfect. I think that's perfect. A new 346 Torah Cat. Get a new hairdo. Go to a new hairstylist. All right. They're doing you dirty. Next on the list, we've got Squovit. who is a chubby squirrel.
Oh, look at it.
It's so cute.
It is cute.
Not super creative, I know, but it's adorable.
It's through the roof as far as the cute factor, obviously. I mean, they are going all in. It's got freckles, it's got big old eyes, a big fluffy tail, everything that makes a Pokemon cute. They just jammed it into here. You're right, creative, not too great. It's obviously just a squirrel or maybe chipmunk. It's got those big cheeks. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It still looks different enough that it's not as close as like Zubat is to a bat. I think they do a little bit more to differentiate it with the coloring, the two-tone tail, this weird split ears. It's got some little quirks in there, but cute factor is definitely carrying this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. Do we have Pokedex entries? I don't have a lot to say about it.
No. I mean, yeah. Found throughout the Galar region, this Pokemon becomes uneasy if its cheeks are ever completely empty of berries. It eats berries nonstop, a habit that has made it more resilient than it looks. It'll show up on farms searching for yet more berries.
Gotta have food in its mouth. You know what, Squovit? Same.
Yeah, I relate to that.
Relatable content. I like it.
Just a little stress eater.
Yeah,
or a happy eater.
I have never used one of these because its evolution is hideous, a monster, true monstrosity, I think. But it's still like if I could use it in its first form and it would not just get murdered by everything instantly, I would.
Really, you don't like the second form?
No, you do.
Oh boy.
Well, we'll talk about it on another episode.
More planning out arguments for the future. I love it. Yeah, this is just normal size. You know, it's got a 70 HP stat. That's pretty good for first form.
That's true. It's true.
Is Bidoof on the Bidoof is on the list, right?
I believe so.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
think
at
it's the closest.
205.
205. Is this cuter? Bidoof has like the meme, it's got that going for it. But cute factor, is this cuter than Bidoof? I think it might be cuter than Bidoof.
I think you might be right. Bidoof gets a lot of points from New Pokemon Snap. It's super adorable there, and this guy's not in there, unfortunately. But without New Pokemon Snap, like just looking at the key art, this is definitely way cuter.
Yeah, I think I agree.
And then we're back in a territory we've been in before with Bulbasaur. And let's see, Scorbunny's in there, Abra's in there.
I wouldn't feel right putting it above Bulbasaur.
I think that's
for
fair.
me. Bulbasaur's cute. He's iconic. He's got a lot of things going for him. Like I said, this Pokemon's just riding on that cute factor. Carries you a long way. I don't know if it's carrying you past a Gen 1 starter, though.
We got Chansey directly above Bidoof and below Bulbasaur.
It can go above Chansey. I'm not a big Chansey fan. It's another earworm, though, thanks to Smash Bros. Chansey!
That's true. When it pops out and murders you. Great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like that. Squovit at 204. Thanks for coming on the show. I know you've got a lot of berries to collect. Winter is on its way, so you can head right on out. Sorry for taking up so much time. Next on the list, and Squovit, don't look at our next guest on the way out. We've got Flapple.
Dear God.
Oh, Gigantamax Flapple. That's right. I didn't say Gigantamax.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is obviously a Pokemon I was not familiar with, and I Googled the Gigantamax form, Gmax Flapple, and I saw this thing, and I'm like, what am I looking at? I had to go back and look at a Flapple to try to kind of wrap my head around what this was. But it's a giant apple with a Pokemon busting out of it. But even that's not correct because the apple is the Pokemon,
Yeah.
I believe.
Uh-huh.
It just looks like a giant apple. It almost looks like an apple pie filling is oozing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What I really don't like, though, is the super cartoony eyes on the very top. I assume those are eyes. Maybe those are ears. I don't know. I'm having trouble kind of wrapping my head around this Pokemon. So like relatability is super low. I think creativity is not great. Not cool, not cute. I mean, this is not doing it for me.
Now, what if I told you this is the cooler looking evolution, in my opinion?
Well, I mean, this guy's not ranking high in any form.
Yeah, he's a dragon that looks like an apple. This is a dragon Pokemon, believe it or not.
Yes.
And I think the
version, the
other
non-G
form,
Max,
sorry,
where I could see the wings, like the apple is part of the wing. I kind of like that. I like that more. I think it gets worse in its G Max form.
According to Bulbapedia, those apples are not part of its body and are actually apples that they use to form its body.
I hate it. I hate when Pokemon have something that's part of their design that's not actually them. Like Grookey was one thing. He can find a stick and put it in his hair. That's fine. But something like Cubone has like the skull of its mother. How does every single Cubone always have that skull? I don't understand these things.
That is
Maybe
weird.
I'm probably thinking too hard about it, but that's what I do. That's kind of the point of the show, right? We got to think hard about these things. Yeah, I don't like that it evolves and just has an apple or has to find an apple. We've never seen one without an apple. How does this work? And this is gigantic. It's a giant apple, right? Because Gigantamax, I assume they're very large.
Yes.
Do we have a scale on this thing?
We definitely have a scale on this thing. It is, oh my god, 78 feet tall.
What? This is a skyscraper. What the hell? Where does the apple come from? It's not part of its body, but it has a 70-foot tall apple.
Better question. Where does the caramel come from?
Yes, that's caramel.
Right? I assume some kind of filling.
I thought it was like apple 5 feet. Yeah, caramel. I do like caramel, but I don't want to taste. I don't want to think about a Pokemon's taste. When I'm ranking Pokemon, I'm not trying to think of taste. So I don't like it. I think it's a monstrosity. I think it's not very creative. It can go above Zubat. I don't care, but it's got to go low.
I think we're going to have a new lowest Gigantamax on the list. That's what I'm hearing.
Have they not been popular?
A lot of them have been. A lot of them were quite high, especially early on. We've probably got like, a dozen or so in the top 150 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like it should be cool, a giant Pokemon. And again, this is part of it, is an era of Pokemon that I have not played. Gigantamax forms, they're like temporary, right? It's not a true evolution.
Yeah.
So it temporarily has a giant apple that makes it even more hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it,
turns.
the more I don't like this Pokemon.
Is there lore specifically for the Gigantamax form?
There is. So apparently that's not caramel or apple filling. It's nectar.
Yeah.
If it stretches its neck, the strong aroma of its nectar pours out. The scent is so sickeningly sweet that one whiff makes other Pokemon faint.
Yeah, I don't want to think of the taste of Pokemon. I don't want to think of the smell of Pokemon. I don't. This is getting worse by the minute. I don't like it. Is that what like the red smoke going around in its neck is? Is that its aroma?
That's Gigantamax energy. All Gigantamaxes have like a smoke ring like that somewhere.
Won't hold that against. I won't hold it against it.
I'll hold that against Game Freak though.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so let's compare it to some other monstrosities we have on the list. Starting at Dracozolt at number 418.
Which one's that one? I've got to Google
it's one of those weird. Maybe pull up a picture if you can, Chris. It's a weird combination of like two Pokemon.
Oh, hang on. I opened my phone and I was greeted with a Pokemon penis from my last Google.
That's in your search history forever now. Take care. God, this one's not good. I might say below this one, but above the other one. The other Draco we've gotten here. What do you think of Dracozolt?
Dracozolt? I'm trying to spell this thing right.
Yeah.
Zolt. There we go. So electric type, I guess, here. Oh boy, yeah, this is pretty ugly. What is this, like a kangaroo dragon? Ugh, what is this? Oh yeah, God, this is bad. This is bad. They just cut a Pokemon in half.
Yes, yes, they did.
Together with a, yeah, that's not good.
That's exactly what they did.
Like a pig zebra Pokemon 2, where it's like two animals just stuck together.
Oh,
Maybe. I know there's like Silvally, which is like 5 or 6 different animals stuck together.
This God, I'm gonna stop. This is God, what is it called? Dracozolt? This apple monstrosity is not as bad as Dracozolt. It needs to go above that. That is horrible to look at. That is horrible to look at.
I think I agree. I think we probably put him above this other monstrosity, Arctovish, as well. It's probably the best looking of those weird combo Pokemon, but it's still no good.
Still pretty bad. Yeah, they did 4 different fossil Pokemon where instead of having one big fossil, you take 2 half fossils and fuse them together to make a new Pokemon in Gen 8, Chris. That's why we have these cut in half monstrosities.
Okay, I take back what I said about them still being creative in Gen
8. So immediately above that, we've got Electrode and Ekans. Here's what your thoughts are on those, Chris.
Yeah, those are better than this apple thing. Yeah, he needs to go below that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Those aren't great Pokemon, but they're down low. They're where they should be. This thing is worse than this.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, Gigantamax Flapple, please keep your neck down. We don't need to give anyone diabetes over the air. That sounds like a terrible thing. Next on the list, we've got Zygarde.
This is one I'm probably going to need explained to me because of this list, this was my daughter's favorite. She said this is the coolest one that they gave you. And I do have it in my book here, and I've got Zygarde Core, Zygarde 10%, Zygarde 50%, Zygarde Complete. I don't know what any of this stuff means. She said the Core one was her favorite. It's obviously got the cute factor going for it, but I don't really understand what I'm looking at, so I would like to be educated on this thing before I can rank it.
Yeah, I actually don't have a picture here of Zygarde Core. That wasn't even in the database I used, but I will add that in post. I don't. Ryan, please tell me you understand this thing, because this thing doesn't really come up in the story at all. So I never interacted with it in any way. But I think it stars in a movie.
I have caught one of these. I used the 50% form in X and Y. I have no idea.
Here's what I got in this book here. So we got Zygarde Core, which is kind of like a little, almost like a worm snake thing. It's got big eyes. It looks cool. Zygarde 10%. When Zygarde has gathered 10% of its cells, it takes on this 4-legged form. It can run fast enough to keep up with the car on the highway, and its fangs are sharp and dangerous. Zygarde 50%. Now it's like a big snake. When Zygarde has gathered 50% of its cells, it takes on this serpentine form. It is said that this legendary Pokemon is guardian of the ecosystem and that it could become even more powerful. And then Zygon Complete is almost like a Gundam looking thing. When Zygarde senses extreme danger to the ecosystem, it gathers all of its cells and takes on this titanic form. Zygarde Complete has the power to bring order when life and destruction become imbalanced. That's pretty rad looking. So if we are ranking this thing based on all of its forms, which it seems like we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's ranking pretty high. I mean, it's got a cool factor and a cute factor based on different forms. I mean, every form has got something going for it. I like the color scheme. It talks about cells. It almost looks like a digital Pokemon. It kind of looks like a digital Pokemon. There should be a shorter way to say that. It almost looks digital, like a computer with that color scheme, almost like a circuit board. But it's weird. It's one of the weirder ones, but I like it, and it's my daughter's favorite, so I got to vouch for this thing.
It's fair.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I said, I've never interacted with it in the games, but it does remind me a lot of, what is it, Deoxys, that's got all the different forms in Gen 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that Pokemon a lot.
And this is a legendary, so I can guarantee you it's strong.
Yeah. This is the only form I was actually familiar with previously. I think this is I don't know, the main form, I guess.
I like the asymmetric coloring. Like the snake has green on one side and black on the other, and same with the dog form. Like its front left paw is green and the right one's black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's a nice little touch.
And the complete form is I'm getting Power Rangers vibes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
this it's actually, man. Oh my gosh, this thing has. Okay, hold on. I'm seeing a lot of Digimon in this thing right now, like to an extreme degree. Like this looks very much like the fourth evolution of Terriermon. For Digimon fans at home, you'll appreciate that. Also, its chest is straight up like the face of the main antagonist Digimon from Digimon the movie, whose name I don't remember, but it was like a weird virus thing in a computer that was their main antagonist.
kind of reminds me of the Aquaman thing from the movie. I can't remember the name of it. Have you seen the Aquaman movie?
I have not.
No.
Cut this because it makes no sense. I can't remember the name. Is it Mantis?
Man, where do we look on the list? Or did we read Pokedex entries? I don't think we did yet.
There's a lot. So the 10% form, this is Zygarde's form. Okay, I see that. I see it. Zygarde's form, when about 10% of its cells have been gathered, it runs across the land at speeds greater than 60 miles per hour.
Cool. That's cool.
That's pretty cool. 50%, this is Zygarde's form. When it has gathered 50% of its cells, it wipes out all those who oppose it, showing not a shred of mercy. And then complete form. Oh, I like that one. This is Zygarde's perfected form. From the orifice on its chest, it radiates high-powered energy that eliminates everything.
Other than the word orifice, I liked everything you just read about Pokemon.
And see, that's the word I like the most.
I don't need to think about a Pokemon's orifices.
Yeah, I like that when it hits perfect form, it no longer has that asymmetrical coloring thing or complete form, because it's like it's done. It kind of gives the impression that like these cells are forming and they're forming incorrectly until it's done.
Yeah, that is great, and I like getting a couple extra colors in there at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just being a creative Pokemon, I think this is very high for that.
But what do we compare it to?
That's the question. That's the hard question. What are the legendaries can we compare it to? I know.
So what generation is this guy? Oh no, it's this guy.
Gen 6. Yeah. But then some of the other forms were introduced in Sun and Moon.
Did the legendaries keep up their numbering throughout the generations? Because obviously the first three birds are 1, 2, and 3, and then they keep it up in the design with 4, 5, and 6, which that's Gen 2. It has Entei, right? The dog thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an expert past 1, but they represent 4, 5, and 6 in their design. I'm curious because the number would have gotten pretty high by here if that's something that they kept up with after 2 generations.
Well, this is number 718 on the national text.
Well, the legendary numbers, there were 1, 2, 3 in the first generation and 4, 5, 6 in the second generation.
If they have, it's not something that I've noticed.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what to compare it to. Where's Kyurem on this list? I feel like it just belongs much higher than that, because I think we put Kyurem quite low. But
yeah, I was looking higher than that. I guess I was floating around the Reshiram, Zekrom area, 69, 81. Yeah,
I like that territory better. Honestly, even though I really like Zekrom and I have no real attachment to this thing, just based on the lore and the look and the creativity, I'd go above Zekrom.
I'm okay with that. I'm not opposed. Few spots above that, we've got a Jolteon.
I think it's going to go above Jolteon.
Hot
take, maybe, but I think it can go above that.
No, I think I'm with it.
Yeah, maybe we're just getting too low to begin with here. We've got Entei at 38.
Okay.
I'm not a big
I'd go
Entei
above
stan.
Entei.
I'd go above for sure.
Go above Entei. Yeah, he's pretty basic.
Man, we got Articuno at 31. I'm not an Articuno stan for sure. That doesn't even belong that high, so above Articuno.
You go above that. For anybody, I'm looking at these legendary Pokemon while we're trying to rank this guy. For anybody who's confused about the numbering thing, so the birds in the first one, Articuno, Uno, Zapdos, Dos, and Moltres, Tres. Most people know that, I think. Uno, Dos, Tres. And then Gen 2, it's not in the name, it's in the design. You've got that. Oh, I should probably have the name split up, otherwise this is bad for an audio podcast. But you've got the like electric cat looking thing, and it has 4 points on its whiskers for number 4. And then Entei is number 5, has a star design on its mouth for 5 points. And then number 6 has the 6-sided
diamond headpiece. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Represent 6. But I was looking at Gen 3 legendaries. So that would be 7, 8, and 9 is what we're going for. I think Rayquaza would be 9. I think he might have 9 segments in his body.
Yeah, interesting. Well, real quick, I wonder if they would go for Regirock, Regice, and Registeel for that generation, because those were more similar to the dogs. And I wonder if their dots are 7, 8, and 9 dots on their face. I don't know. I don't remember how many dots they had.
That's good. That's subtle. I didn't even put that together through Gen 2. Good job. Good job, Game Freak. Get one past us again. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris.
Hey, my goal is to be the best guest you guys have. It's competitive to me. We're not just ranking Pokemon.
Yeah, that's right. The last episode
is ranking.
The last episode, what?
Is ranking our guests.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to score high. I want to be the greatest guest. No one ever was. Talking Mon is my true test. To rank them is my cause. That's all I got. I don't know the rest of the words, so I can't go any farther than that.
That's good though. That's good.
Fun fact about me: no vocal training. Can you believe that? That's all me, baby. I know. Hard to believe. Thank you in advance for auto-tuning my voice.
We got Eevee a few spots above that. I think this goes above Eevee. If only for that 10% form.
Above Eevee, you know, like I said, it's got this is like max cool factor, the 100%, and that core is pretty cute. I don't know, you guys haven't had a picture of it up yet, but the core where it's like just like a little green ball with big eyes, it's pretty cute. It's hitting on 2 fronts, which most Pokemon cannot do.
Yeah, that's true. I've got the core art on Bulbapedia. I did drop a picture in the Gotta Rank 'Em All channel so Chris could see.
Oh yeah, I did look. It is cute.
It's very cute. Yeah.
Above Eevee is pretty bold. I think that's fine, but I think we're getting into the territory where this guy should land. What number is Eevee?
Eevee's 28.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're up there. Yeah, okay.
I think for me, I probably would stop right below Lunala. I really like Lunala a lot, but
Lunala.
I'm not so attached to it that you can't go above. That's the Moon legendary.
Right.
But I'm okay with going above that.
Lunala looks like okay, it looks like box art for a Castlevania game. Like you can just see the words Castlevania on top of it and the subtitle.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Its lore is straight up like Bloodborne lore, though, basically. That's why I like it so much.
It's cool. I like it. So what's right below that Pokemon? What's right below Lunala?
Hatterene.
Hatterene?
Hatterene.
Hatterene. Oh, it has like a hat built into it?
Mm-hmm. It's a Bayonetta hat, too.
Yeah, it's like a part of its body. It's like hair. Its hair forms its body.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, but I definitely would go above that.
What do you think? In between those two? In between Lunala and Hatterene?
I think I'm okay with that.
I like that spot.
All right.
Wow.
New number 30, Zygarde. All of your forms, great job. Your 10% form, though, who's a good boy? Next on the list, we've got Aggron, the Iron Armor Pokemon.
Pretty cool design here. I like it. It looks like the things that the Pokemon. It looks like the things that the Power Rangers fight in the Power Rangers movie when they go to the planet and get their ninja powers and they fight those bone things. Except it's got steel on it in addition to the bone. Don't know why my mind went there, but I like the design. I know this from Pokemon Go. That's where I learned about this guy. So I'm pretty familiar with him. I've used him quite a bit. As far as creativity, not the most creative, but I like kind of putting like a bone and metal design together. I think it works pretty well. Relatability, like I don't know exactly what animal it's supposed to be, but it's very clear to see like where the mouth is, where the head is, where the nose. I can make sense of it. Unlike that apple monstrosity we looked at earlier, where I couldn't tell what was what. It's very clear and straightforward. Pretty big cool factor. I mean, it looks tough. It looks like a badass Pokemon. I give it 8s across the board on my scale. So solid, maybe solid plus.
Yeah, I think this guy mostly suffers from coming right after Zygarde completes, which was like ultra cool, like the coolest. Yeah. It's like the big combined Power Rangers thing, and then this is the monster that big Power Ranger beats the shit out of.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's still very cool though.
Okay,
I've used
so this will be below Zygarde, but above Jinx.
Easy.
Perfect range.
But yeah, it is very cool. I've used them before. They work really well on a Sandstorm team, which I love. The only problem is that it is rock and steel, which makes it incredibly vulnerable to fighting moves, which are super common when you're playing like competitive.
Yeah, most definitely. This thing claims a whole mountain as its sole territory.
Wow.
Mercilessly thrashes those that violate its space, which I understand.
Kind of a dick move, though, not gonna lie. And you need an entire mountain, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're nearly 7 feet tall and 800 pounds, I think you can take the land that you want.
This is true. If Brock Lesnar told me he wanted to live in my house, I would move out instantly. It's true.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say no to that, man. I think I found a steel type I like more. We can open negotiations. Aegislash at 114.
I think I agree that I like Aegislash more.
Good. I don't want to have to end this podcast.
That is the one area where you will not compromise. You have to agree there.
Jirachi, also a steel type, although kind of a weird one. It doesn't like have that steel aesthetic as much as this, which I like Jirachi more.
On the creativity front, you know what I like about Aggron? I like that he has horns, but they're like going through a hole in the helmet. It's because you could have just easily made that connected or part of the helmet would have been fine. But the fact that it's like two separate pieces like that, I think just adds a nice little touch of creativity.
Yeah, I just remember that we have Mega Aggron on the list. Now he's all the way up at 51, so I don't think we're going as high as Mega Aggron, but...
No, I don't think so. Mega Aggron's way cooler than regular Aggron, who is still pretty cool. I hear you though, Chris. I know you like Jirachi as well. I think below Jirachi is okay.
What else do we have for good comparison points in that range?
Pangoro at 137.
Ooh, yeah, those are actually kind of similar looking.
Which
think
Pokemon?
I like Pangoro more. Pangoro. He's a panda, but also a fighter.
Okay. Okay. I think we're in the ballpark. I mean, if you say this guy's cooler, that's fine, but I think we're getting close.
I think so. Let's see. We got Ponyta at 140. That's a rough comparison to make, but it's one of the few Gen 1s that are in that range.
I would put it above Ponyta. I've always said Ponyta. Do I sound ridiculous? Is that wrong?
I've always said Ponyta as well.
Okay.
You're both ridiculous.
Yeah, not
ridiculous.
Not a very inspired Pokemon. Not a very inspired name. I'm not a big fan of Ponyta, whatever you want to call it. I would put it above that.
Okay, and I would also go above Gibble and Frogadier are in there. I would go above both those. Right below Pangoro is where I like.
Yeah, I think right next to Pangoro feels good.
That's good.
All right, new 138 Aggron. I don't have a lot of mountains in Connecticut, so you're probably going to have to travel pretty. I'm sorry to call you all the way out here from your home, but next up on the list, we've got Mega Blaziken.
Hell yeah. I like this even more than normal Blaziken.
I agree.
I'm glad we can agree on this.
Yeah, this thing's pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, just they turned it up to 11 in such a good way. The black and red feels so good. The mane coming out into this large X pattern, the flames coming off the wrists.
Yeah, it's doing everything right. I got nothing bad to say about it. If I were to really search for maybe kind of negative, I don't love the feet. It doesn't really have feet, or they're covered in feathers. It's like a stump. The legs ends in a stump, which I don't love, especially since it looks like it does kicks, but it doesn't have feet. But that's really nitpicking. Overall, this is just a rad design. Huge improvement, like we just talked about. I like those like flames coming off the wrist, almost like it's got like it might say a ninja have like bandanas tied around his wrist, maybe, but it's flames instead. Super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden in this art, but I don't love its horn that it's grown either. But that's
on the forehead
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as dumb as Torah Cat's hair in its forehead, but
that's true.
I agree. Not great. It just didn't need it. It's got so much cool stuff going on. It didn't need a horn as well, but
or at least not so pronounced. Doesn't have to come up and then make a 90-degree angle backwards if they wanted to like swoop it up a little bit. I think that could have been better if it was more of a swooping, softer horn.
The design is cool. Like, not only is it black and red, which is a cool color scheme, but it's got like the fire, like, actual design on its belly. Kind of looks like Kane from WWE. One of the things he would wear.
Yeah, really good. And I mean, unfortunately, there's no mega entries, but we do have Blaziken pretty high at 15.
Yeah, we like Blaziken a lot. We just ranked that last week. And I think this goes higher.
I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite literally just like a cooler form of Blaziken. I feel like that's like what they set out to design, and I think they succeeded.
Yeah. But now the question is, how much higher?
I think exactly 1. I love Lucario.
Lucario is pretty cool.
Lucario is pretty cool. And even if I think we're in agreement between Blaziken and Lucario, but even if it were somehow get above Lucario, I'd probably fight pretty hard to keep it below Lycanroc.
Okay. I think
in between those two is perfect.
Yeah. All right. New 15, Mega Blaziken dethroning your unmega form. Great. Just great. Thanks for coming on. Watch the walls, though. I have thin doorways. I don't need you setting my door jams on fire with those flame wrists. Next on the list, one of the most mouthful names I'm going to have to pronounce this whole podcast. Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike form.
And I actually have both of the forms here because they barely look different. I don't know if we'll have to update our list later if we have both of them on there or whatever. But this is also the only like good picture I could find of it. It's not that good, frankly, but
yeah. It's the blue one. I do have them separate as the Pokedex lists them separately.
Okay, so we're looking at the blue one today.
Yes.
Okay, just a slightly different pattern, basically, is all I'm kind of seeing here. This thing is weird. This is weird. So we've got like pig nose, maybe. I think I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. Honestly, the mouthful of a name I don't like. I'm not immediately loving this design. The one cool thing I'm looking at is it looks like when it opens its mouth, there's like a spirit inside making its way out, like it's holy light inside of it. I like the light coming out of the eyes and mouth. That's a cool little aesthetic there, but otherwise, I don't have a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, it's very busy. I think the design overall is a little too busy.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm thinking, like creativity on the Pokemon, sometimes it doesn't have to be simple, but I love the simple ones where a little bit goes a long way. Sometimes you can get a little more complicated. I mean, Grookey putting a beak on a monkey isn't by any means simple, but sometimes like you said it, busy. Giratina off the top of my head is another one that's just like too busy for me. Like I don't know what I'm looking at. That's what I think they're maybe going for like almost like a luchador thing with like their design, maybe superhero. I don't know what they're going for. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
Bulbapedia says it's a wushu motif.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely like a big like karate, whatever, like martial art kind of Pokemon. Like this Pokemon, I guess not this form of the Pokemon, but Cubfu, its first evolution, is like the star of one of the DLCs basically, because they added it specifically for that DLC and you get it. And Cubfu's great. Urshifu's okay, and then Gigantamax, Urshifu, it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Also, it's just as art, I guess, but the blue one's really showing its ass there. It's really trying to get you to look
the. We do have a little bit of lore. As it waits for the right moment to unleash its Gigantamax power, this Pokemon maintains a perfect one-legged stance. It won't even twitch. All it takes is a glare from this Pokemon to take the lives of those with evil in their hearts.
Jesus.
Or so they say. So Sora could probably use one of these.
Chris, you had to mention the ass, and that's all I see.
I'm glad the angle I'm looking at does not have ass prominently displayed in the photo.
Urshifu uses thick. I think it's better than that apple monstrosity from earlier, which I'm not even going to say the name. It doesn't deserve a name. It's better than the apple mess we talked about earlier in the episode. So above that, but not by far, probably.
Yeah, I'd go below our next Gigantamax on the list is Gigantamax Dreadnought. I'd go below that one, I think.
Yeah, I like Gigantamax Dreadnought more than I like Urshifu here.
Gives us quite a range because that's up at 373, so between 419 and 373.
Okay. Below Silvally. Or no, well, Silvally's pretty...
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We keep coming back to that one. Have you seen Silvally, Chris?
Silvally?
Yeah, Silvally.
It's like a chimera. It's odd. I would probably go above it.
Okay, I've seen this. I don't know. I think I like the Silvally more. I mean, I'm not super passionate about it. I won't fight too hard if you want to put this above that. But I think if it goes this, it shouldn't go much farther than this. Because I look at a Silvally and it's weird, but like I get the design. I see the mouth. I see the foreleg. I can make sense of the Pokemon. Whereas this guy, I don't know. It's just really not pleasing. But yeah, it can go above that guy. But I think we're in the ballpark now.
Okay, it's up to you then, Ryan. Do you want it above or below Silvally?
I think I want it below Silvally.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
Then we've got Gulpin and Swallots, the piles of goo.
Mm-hmm. And above Palpitoad at the very least. The vibrator Pokemon.
You gotta make me Google another Pokemon. What's that thing called?
Palpitoad. Palpi Toad. All right, I'm wearing a green screen shirt. I forgot.
Oh, is it just the Palpitoad?
Thank you, Draft Punks.
This is clearly a back massager, okay? Get your mind out of the gutter.
I mean, I guess between you two, because I definitely say above Gulpin and Swalot.
Yeah, you know what? I think right below Silvally is okay. I feel good, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
All right. A new 379 Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike style, or as I will now forever call you, Gurs. Gurss.
It's gonna catch on.
That's it. Next on the list, hopefully this doesn't glitch the list out by putting this Pokemon on here.
Yes.
Missing No.
Oh my god. I have 126 microphones in front of me now. What happened? This is rad. I love that you guys are putting this on the list. It's gonna be super hard to rank because it's weird, but I love it. This is super cool. So the first thing I did when I knew that we were talking about this today, go to DeviantArt and look at people's missing no interpretations. There's a lot of cool fan art out there, like because it's basically just a blob of pixels, but people have drawn it with like a bunch of like bones and skulls thrown together, or ghosts thrown together, or actual like moving pictures that are glitching out. Super cool. I think we have to talk about its usefulness. I mean, a lot of people. I didn't. I was a good boy when I played Pokemon. I did not use this cheat. To be honest with you, I didn't know about it. Otherwise, I probably would have when I've played. But when I talked to my wife about coming on the show and this one, the Pokemon, she's like, "Oh yeah, that thing was a lifesaver. I used that all the time." So that's gotta factor into it. I think. I mean, this Pokemon brought players nothing but joy. It's like the reverse of Zubat that everybody hated when it showed up. You've got nothing but good things to come from encountering a missing no.
Well, it can also super bork your game and make it unplayable if you don't do the right thing with it. But
that's a risk that you know of ahead of time, though. I guess, right? I mean, if you just happened upon it, which is hard to do, you got to do such specific conditions to get to it. I could understand that, but save ahead of time before you go and try to get it. I don't think it's that big of an inconvenience. Oh well, it would corrupt your save, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair point.
You definitely need to know what you're doing, but it's incredibly useful. It is how I always beat those first games. Just tons of rare candies.
There are Pokedex entries for Missing No.
Oh, really?
Wow. But I need Google Translate because yellows is just ... And then Japanese blues is obviously in Japanese, which I can't read kanji. So...
This
but
second
Google
picture,
Translate can.
The second picture, the top line is all the forms that it can take. The one that you want is the one on the left. That means you're doing the right thing to get the copies. The others, I think, would usually glitch your game. And so, then on the bottom are the ones that were in Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, I was going to say those bottom ones are the Pokemon Yellow ones. The other ones... All right, I've got a full thing here with Bulbapedia. The Fossil and Ghost Missing No, otherwise known as Special Missing No, are 3 unique forms that share their sprites with the Kabutops Fossil and Aerodactyl Fossil, as well as the Ghost from Pokemon Tower. This is because the game actually uses their index numbers to get their font sprites. These Pokemon have no constant base stats, experience types, or starting moves. Instead, they take this data from the last Pokemon in the party, other than another Special Missing No. If an enemy trainer sends out a Special Missing No, the aforementioned data is taken from the previous Pokemon they sent out. The Fossil and Ghost Missing No exist in Yellow and have the same sprites as in Red and Blue. They also work the same way. Since the sprites are valid, these Missing No can be encountered instead of Yellow's normal Missing No and will never freeze the game on the opponent's side. And then it's like you get them through very strange ways. So you get like the Kabutops Fossil form This form appears through the old man glitch if W is the character in the 3rd, 5th, or 7th slot of the player's chosen name. Like, it's super esoteric stuff like that to get any of those forms.
Yeah,
it's super cool. I love that there's, I use this word lovingly, but like nerds out there that went through trial and error and broke down this code and figured this stuff out. I'm always appreciative of those group of people that do the work so we can, enjoy the fruits of their labor. I think that's super cool. It's one of the most famous glitches in like all of gaming, maybe. I mean, like I think a lot of people know about it. Anybody who's played those old games. Now, my my method of ranking these Pokemon and judging them is kind of thrown out the window. I mean, it was unintended, so it's hard to really talk about creativity, but we can only go by the sprite we have in front of us, which I think that little backwards L one is the one we should probably go off of.
Mhm.
It wow, I don't know. It's weird to say it ranks high on the cool factor, but it kind of does, like a glitch as a Pokemon.
All right, I have translated the Japanese blue Pokedex entry for Missingno, which reads Komento Saku Sechu, which just translates apparently to comment.
Excellent.
That was very helpful. I know exactly where to put this on the list now.
Yes.
Oh man. Ryan, I'll let you decide where we start looking here.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a tough one for all the numerous reasons Chris already mentioned to try and put on the list here.
If I could just say something that's not going to be helpful, if
please.
If hypothetically somehow this was the last Pokemon you guys were ranking, if you were at the end of your list and you just had Missingno, I would slot it dead center of the list.
Hmm.
Can't do that now because it's so early.
Yeah.
But you can't rank it super high because it's not, wasn't designed. I think it was intentional. It's hard to put it above, people's hard work of designing some of these Pokemon. And it shouldn't be too low because of its usefulness, its notoriety. It's got a big cool factor. So it's just those two things competing. It's kind of evens out for me, and I just kind of just fall flat, like right in the middle when I'm thinking about how to rank this thing. But I don't know what that means for the list as it stands.
Part of me wants to say we put this at number 0. Like it's outside of the normal rankings in a way, because of what Missingno is.
I see.
Yeah,
I also think that kind of fits with the theme of Missingno. Right? This is a thing that broke the Pokemon game. Why shouldn't it break the Pokemon list in a sense?
Okay, now that is not going to fit in this formatting, just so you know, so it's going to look very stupid. But I mean, I like that. If that's okay with you, Chris.
What does that look like? So when someone pulls up your list, is there an asterisk at the very bottom of the list? Do you put a 0 above number 1? Do you put it beside the list? How does that look visually?
It would probably be 0 and then another space and then the full list starts.
So whenever you introduce, on the opening to the next episode of this, where you let people know the top, the bottom, the middle, do you mention Missingno?
I don't think so, because
you just
I want to mention the numbers, and 0 is kind of like the absence of a number.
That's
so
smart.
Like once we move on to this next Pokemon, this is never coming up again. No, because it can't be deranked, it can't be moved because nothing else is going to exist over there. So like it will never be mentioned again.
Not until
which is necessarily a problem, but
yeah, no, not until the second to last episode where we read the list start to finish, I guess.
Okay.
That would be the next time, and then the very last episode where we rank our guests.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do. This is super simple. This is what you do. You write a code so that every time someone opens your list, it randomly replaces one of the Pokemon with missing no, and it's different for every single person that ever opens up your list. That's simple to do, right? You can probably whip that up.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm sure we can figure that out.
That would be very
But until
cool.
then, just spit it as number 0.
We don't have to do the number 0 thing. That was just a thought that popped into my head of like, I kind of like this thought process that it breaks the boundaries of the list in some, because this list is, conceptually when Chris and I started the show is 1 to the highest number of Pokemon. That's the list. So having Missing No come in here and break that concept in some sort feels thematically correct for this Pokemon, but it doesn't have to be how we handle this ranking.
Yeah, I will say when we did the Gen 1 Pokemon draft on Draft Punks, I took Missing No as my 5th pick, power play, and Brian was very upset, as he tends to be over weird picks. And his condition was like, "Are you ranking this on your guys' show?" I was like, "Yeah," and now I feel like we copped out of that. But
well, I
think it works.
A twist could be that you put it at this nebulous number 0 off the list. Nothing is stopping from a future guest from bringing it as their Pokemon and re-ranking it. They can fight to put it on the list.
That's true. It's true.
This is true.
So if someone has a problem with number 0, I'm reach out to you guys. Maybe they can come on the show and plead their case. But I'm okay with that. I mean, like I said, in a perfect world, I'm putting it exactly in the middle. That was kind of my thought process, but we can't do that now.
Yeah,
it's hard to put it anywhere now. With like I said, putting it too high. I mean, just putting it above people's creativity, creating these Pokemon just doesn't sit right with me. But I'm not gonna just re-explain everything I said already. But I'm not getting the hate mail for the cop out, so I'm putting it at 0.
Okay,
that just goes in the spam folder. It's
number 0.
A new number 0. Missing No, only you could pull that off. Next on the list, we've got Blacephalon.
Oh,
Blacephalon.
boy. Here we are.
I don't like it.
Let's see. Let me consult my Super Deluxe Essential Handbook. Blacephalon.
Blacephalon.
The Ceph. Blacephalon.
Blacephalon. All right.
What a wild looking Pokemon. This looks like you went to an ice cream truck in another dimension and you got the $2 ice cream bar, and this is what it looks like. It's got gumballs on it. It's got a fun design. All right, so what this book is telling me is that Blacephalon, one of the mysterious Ultra Beasts, has an unexpected method of attack and makes its own head blow up. Its opponents are so surprised by this that it can take advantage and steal their energy. Okay. Does it grow a new head?
Weird.
I have more questions than when I started. What I like, again, this is another Pokemon that's kind of breaking my scale. Like relatability, no, I can't relate this to anything in the real world, but that's kind of the point. It's from like another world. It's not supposed to be relatable. So I think that ends up working in the Pokemon's favor. I love the head, like the absence of a head, but it's just implied where the head is through these dots. It's cool. It's weird and out there, but this is one of those weird ones that actually kind of work for me.
Yeah, man, it kind of gives me vibes. I haven't played No More Heroes 3, but it gives me vibes of like the first trailer we saw for that game with that weird alien guy that comes back to visit the kid. I don't know if you guys have seen that trailer. I don't know if that's relevant at all to you, but it gives me that vibe.
I have not, unfortunately. I don't know. This thing kind of weirds me out entirely.
That was my daughter's explanation of what an Ultra Beast is. Like they're from, you guys probably know the lore better than me, I assume, but they're from another world. They're not
alternate dimension.
Alternate dimension. Okay. So yeah. I mean, it's got to look look weird. I don't love the hands. They're kind of like a flower petal or leaf, but again, it's not supposed to be relatable or make sense. So it kind of flips my complaints into compliments in a weird way. It doesn't need to be super high, obviously. I mean, I think it's them taking a chance, and I think it mostly works, but it's not better than. I mean, even like the cute, cool factor, it's hard to rank it there. Like, it's not cute, but is this cool? I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, it reminds me of some kind of nightmare circus.
Yeah, definitely circus vibes with that color scheme.
Yeah.
This guy's chilling with Pennywise for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like that its head blows up, so like its eyes are like explosions, like those star patterns, like a cartoon explosion.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the fireworks Pokemon, so that's all thematically very good.
We have other Ultra Beasts on the list that we can compare it against. We talked about Guzzlord at the top.
God, if we can just, knock was that in the middle position. That's why it gets read out loud. We need to push that down or up so we don't have to read that ever again. Guzzlord.
Let me look up Guzzlord again.
Okay, I'm looking at Guzzlord. I like this more than Guzzlord. Guzzlord looks like in Home Alone whenever Macaulay Culkin sees the furnace and it comes alive and he gets scared. That's what it reminds me of.
I see it. Yeah, I could go above Guzzlord.
No, we have Nihilego at 182.
I like Nihilego more than this, I'd say. It's a design I can make a little bit more sense of.
Yeah, and I also really like that name, Nihilistic and Ego, just crammed together, and its lore matches up to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's like a jellyfish kind of. I mean, but it's also transparent. Yeah, I'm looking at it for the first time, but I like this thing. Nihilego. Okay, below that somewhere.
All right. Well, 4 spots below that, we have Combuskin.
Let's go above Combuskin.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And then Kadabra is in there as well, right below Nihilego. I say probably below Kadabra.
Which one's Runerigus? Oh, that's the...
Yeah, I think we just did that last week.
That's right.
Just so you know, I googled Combuskin again just to get a frame of reference. And I came up with a picture of Combuskin without arms or legs.
Fascinating.
If anybody couldn't see it, just take away the arms and legs and you will see it.
I honestly might go right above Combuskin, or maybe above Golett as well, but below Runerigus.
Okay, yeah, I like below Runerigus. I'd probably go above Golett.
Okay.
I know you don't know who any of those Pokemon are, but does that sound good, Chris?
That sounds perfect. Good call. I agree.
185 Blacephalon. I have no words. No words. Next on the list, we've got Cottony, the Cotton Puff Pokemon. As if I couldn't tell.
Not getting any bonus points for the name, and I don't love the design. It reminds me almost more of a cabbage than it does cotton. And I feel like they were trying to do the cute thing. You know, it's fluffy, big eyes, but it doesn't really look cute to me. Certainly doesn't look cool. So it's not scoring any points there. Just not loving it. Not loving this design.
Yeah, it's in that territory of like the very generic flower designs they like to do over at Game Freak, and none of those have ranked high. We don't like them, I don't think.
Yeah, no, we're not fans of most of them.
Like we got Petal
and my book here
lore,
is in my book here, it says they leave behind drifts of cottony material that makes excellent stuffing for pillows or mattresses.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Useful.
Yeah,
but
useful. That's true. And we do have a Pokemon that lays turds that people use as pocket warmers. Very high on the list because it's useful. That was the lore.
That bit of useful information is about the only thing this Pokemon has going for it, and I don't think it carries it very far.
It's definitely not as fun as
I mean, a turd worm, I can see the practical use of that. I don't need a soft pillow, soft mattress. What are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, come on. Who needs to sleep?
Though.
I like sun here, if only because I get to use a big word. When it finds others of its kind, they all stick together. When enough of them have collected, the mass resembles a cumulonimbus cloud.
Okay.
Not just any kind of cloud. Cumulonimbus.
So specific.
I love specificity in Pokedex entries. I'm a fan. But they also do mention using the cotton for beds and pillows in the Pokedex entries, and that they shoot cotton from their bodies to protect themselves. I don't know how effective cotton is as a projectile weapon, but I'm going to guess not very.
No, I mean just by how much we're reaching to try to find something positive to say about it, I think kind of tells you this needs to definitely be on the bottom half of the list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at Petalil at 355, who I think I like better, even though I don't like Petalil.
Well, how about 2 spots lower? You got Goodra. Hoopa's at 364.
That's right. I forgot we freaking messed all this up. Offended these Pokemon deeply. Definitely below Hoopa. Below Double. Yeah. Double, you can shave the fur off of. That's just a soft.
Yeah. And a better design. Graveler's right below that.
Below.
I would also say below.
More.
Morlull at 371. The Mushroom Man.
Yeah, let's
do you know the Mushroom Man?
It's literally just a mushroom and sends people to sleep.
I know this from new Pokemon Snap. Yeah, there's a ton of them in that forest level. Yeah, this is not a very exciting one either. But
I'd keep going.
I think, yeah, go a little lower, but we're getting close.
Below Whismur.
I mean, if we're going that low, below Silvally. This is just still slipping down. How do we feel about compared to Quillfish at 398?
Quillfish is lame.
Yeah, and it's a fish that can't swim well. So that's his main Pokedex thing, is he cannot swim well. And he's poisonous. So yeah, probably above that. And we got Cacnea at 391. I just saw who I like better.
Cacnea's cute. It's got cute going for him.
You know, and they're similar enough design-wise. They're kind of round things with arms sticking out the side. Yeah, I think I'd go below Cacnea.
And then below Duckling?
I think I like... I mean, what's below Quillfish? I think I like Quillfish more than this guy.
Bonsley is below Quillfish.
Oh, Bonsley's definitely better than this. Why did we put Bonsley solo?
Was Brian on that episode? He hates Sudowoodo.
Yeah, I'd probably go right below Bonsley. I mean, I think Bonsley's down there because it's one of those new babies that they added in Gen 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah, 4, pretty sure.
So it goes like side by side kind of with the Igglybuff Cleffa. But I like Bonsley and I don't like Igglybuff or Cleffa.
You know, I'm okay with that. Between Bonsley and Igglybuff. A new 400 Cottony. Great job. My pillows could use some extra stuffing if you can stick around after the show. Next on the list, though, we've got Alakazam.
Yeah.
Good
I know this guy. I really like this. I like this design. I think it's super creative. It's kind of weird. It's kind of out there. Doesn't score too high on my relatability because I can't instantly tell what it's supposed to be referencing, but I can make sense of it. I can see where its eyes are, its head, its design, how it moves. So it is fine there. It's pretty cool. I don't love the spoon thing. I think it's kind of weird. Again, I don't like when Pokemon, they're in their design, they have to have a foreign object. I think it's just kind of strange, especially something like a spoon. Got to go find spoons to do its thing. A little weird. It's my least favorite part of the design, but overall, I like this guy. I like how wise he looks, like the big wild mustache.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a Dragon Ball character, which I think is probably what they were going for. I also I'm not a big fan of the spoon thing either. It's like this old generic trope that like psychic people can bend spoons, so they just ran with that, but it doesn't super work.
Oddly, he loses his tail, which he had in his first two designs. Abra and Kadabra both have a tail, and then it's gone. I don't really know why, but
interesting. Well, it's on his face now.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, it makes sense. I've got 3 Pokedex entries that I like here. Alpha Sapphire, Alakazam's brain continually grows, infinitely multiplying brain cells. This amazing brain gives this Pokemon an astoundingly high IQ of 5,000. It has a thorough memory of everything that has occurred in the world. And then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Hold on real quick. So if you find like a 60-year-old Alakazam, is its head like twice the size, 3 times the size? Is that
it better
what
be
we're looking at? A little disturbing.
Alakazam uses its psychic powers to make the spoons it carries. It actually makes these spoons with psychic power.
Oh.
Each spoon is an original that there's only one of in the whole world. If it trusts someone deeply, it will let them have one of its spoons. Anything you eat with that spoon is apparently delicious.
What? That's so weird.
I don't know if that makes it worse or better. Like, I like that I'd have to go and find spoons because that's dumb. It makes them okay. Why is it making a spoon? That's odd.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, the like unique, like every spoon is unique thing, but also it can give them away and just make a new, completely unique spoon. Like, how many Alakazams are there? How many unique variations of the spoon could they possibly make? And are they communicating with each other, being like, "Don't make the same spoon as me, bro"?
Well, yeah, they have a thorough memory of everything that has occurred in the world.
In my handbook here, it says if its psychic powers overflow, everyone nearby will get a splitting headache.
That's unpleasant.
Contain these powers. Yeah, I mean it's weird. I like its like armor in its design. It's wearing almost like shoulder pads and knee pads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it totally looks like Vegeta and Goku's armor in early seasons of Dragon Ball Z. To me. Did you say you had 3, Ryan? Did you read all 3?
That was all 3. Okay. Yeah, the spoon ones were 2 separate from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. The first one that they are original, and the second one about the deliciousness of the spoon quality. Where do we have Kadabra?
Yeah, same place I was going. 183. I do like this more than Kadabra for sure.
I would agree. Yeah.
Not a bad middle design though. I've been ragging on middle designs. I don't think Kadabra is a bad middle design. I think it's pretty good, but I still agree. Alakazam can go higher.
I'm even looking a decent bit higher than that.
I think you guys haven't done Mega Alakazam yet, I don't believe, but I think that's even cooler. So I think in the future, Mega isn't going higher than where we put this guy. So
I would agree.
Something to keep in mind.
Whenever that happens. I'm kind of slowing down around the Pangoro area. 138.
Okay. Yeah, I'm struggling to find psychic types in here. There's Braixen, which is that middle evolution fire psychic type. With like a wand, which is kind of a cool design. Alakazam can probably go above that though.
Where's that?
152.
Okay. Yeah, I think Alakazam is better than Breaks, and that's just the middle evolution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the final might give it a run for its money, but
Yeah, I think it goes above, we got Froakie, Torchic, Ponyta, Gibble,
Above
Frogadier.
Ponyta. We got to be above Ponyta.
Yeah.
Why is Ponyta? Somebody come fight for Ponyta. What's Ponyta doing up there?
Somebody fought for it, I guarantee.
Yeah, I want to say that was Middle Gray? Or was he yelling about Rapidash? All I remember was him yelling Fire Horse.
It is a Fire Horse. You said you were stopping around Pangoro. I definitely do like Pangoro a lot. And I like Floatzel a lot, which is right above at 137. I like Morpeko, just lore-wise, hangry mode.
Yeah.
Such a weird Pokemon.
I think it's great.
It's pretty great. Let's compare it to Aggron, right below Pangoro, because we just ranked that earlier.
I think I like Alakazam more than Aggron.
You gonna wedge him between Aggron and the panda there?
Nah, I could go for that.
I think that's a good spot, actually.
Yeah, also we should say this is one of the trait evolutions from the first gen, which a lot of those, people never bothered getting because it was a pain in the butt, but Alakazam and Gengar are the two that people bothered with because they're both awesome.
Very good. Yeah, and I mean, especially in Gen 1, Psychic types were just OP. So you would have loved to have one of these on your team. Alakazam, thank you. 139. Great job. We can't have you too high on the list. We don't want you giving the top tier Pokemon headaches. But next on the list, we've got Jigglypuff. I'm already feeling sleepy. No,
obviously a classic Pokemon. I've got Jigglypuff sitting right behind me, right here. One of my daughter's stuffed animals. I mean, cute factor, it's breaking the scale. It's off the charts, right? This is a Pokemon that's kind of grown on me over time. As a young one, I didn't love it. As a young boy, I'll just say, pink, fairy type, not doing it for me. And then, like most people my age, Super Smash Brothers, such a big deal. That first game, love it. It's great, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to Melee and you've got, obviously they can put more Pokemon in because that first one just had Pikachu. It's like, well, who else could they possibly put in there? They can put a fighting type in and get Machamp in there. They add Jigglypuff. Of all the Pokemon to add into Smash Bros, they go with Jigglypuff. And I resented Jigglypuff for that. I did not like it, especially as a Kirby main. I've already got a pink floaty ball that can basically fly in the game. I don't need another one. I hate that one of her moves. She just falls asleep. I was not a fan of Jigglypuff back in the day. Looking back on her now, though, I think she's kind of cool. I like that. There's almost is adorable, but there's almost just like a little bit of toughness. Almost has like a chip on her shoulder, especially like the design they used for Detective Pikachu for the movie. I really liked.
See, I just came to the Detective Pikachu design and was repulsed.
Well, okay. The fur threw me for a loop because I never looked at Jigglypuff and thought of fur. I definitely thought of almost maybe like bubble gum, maybe like a lung. This is starting to sound even worse, even grosser. But I don't know. I thought of the same as like Kirby. I guess I thought of it in more of an abstract way and not what Jigglypuff would look like in the real world, which no matter what direction you go is going to be gross. I don't love the fur. I understand what you're saying there, but attitude-wise and tone-wise, I liked her portrayal in that movie.
Yeah. Real quick, Jigglypuff actually was in Smash 64, but she was one of the super hidden characters, like Ness. So a lot of people never saw her. I probably never got her in that game, honestly.
Well, I gotta I'm losing my Nintendo card. I don't remember her being in that game, but I resented her even earlier than I realized. Then I resented her since the 64 days. I thought she went until Melee, but still, I was not a fan.
Yeah. Also,
I think I understand.
Okay. Oh no. I also, she's really great in the anime. Like she wants to be a pop star. She sings to everybody who will listen, which is everybody because she doesn't care if you want to listen. And then everybody falls asleep, and she gets really mad and takes out the marker and scribbles all over their faces. Dumb designs. It's a great bit throughout the entire first season of the anime.
Yeah, definitely the best thing about Jigglypuff.
I mean, and just wrecking fools in Smash with Rust. Like, that's it's the move that, like, until you know how to use it, it's literally like your character sits there and does nothing for a minute, but once you know how to use it, it's very cool.
That's what I hated as a kid, though, because like I didn't get it. I mean, my character just falls asleep, and people, on the I don't know how old I was on the playground or at lunchtime, I don't know, at school would be like, "Oh, you got to do it like right on top of someone's head or something." I'm like, I don't have time for this perfect timing thing. Like, she falls asleep, she sucks. I feel like I said, I've come around on her, but not a huge fan in the beginning. One thing I don't like about the design, though, and a few Pokemon do this. I think it's kind of a cop out. Are those hands and those legs? They're just a little squiggle. What is that? Is it a flipper? Is it a nub? How do you grab things with it? It looks cute, but functional wise, I don't think it was super thought out. So I don't love the little nub things.
Yeah, nub hands aren't great, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can see that. What were you gonna say, Ryan, before I cut you off several times?
I think the part of the reason like this was one of the Pokemon introduced in Smash so early is they could easily copy and paste it from Kirby, not have to change a lot of things and increase the amount of memory the game needed. They were working with limited space on those old carts.
Child me did not care about that.
No, that's fair. Child me wouldn't have cared either, but adult Ryan can look back and be like, oh, those developers only had 12 megabytes to work with.
Man, where do we look at the list? Because the only like other form of it we have is Jigglypuff, and that is very low. I don't think we're going that low in the 400s.
Way above that.
Yeah.
Oddly, not oddly, but if technically this is the middle evolution because they introduced a baby later. So in that regards, I think it's the best. Like one of the few times where the middle evolution is the best, but that's cheating. It's not really a middle evolution because it was the first one designed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have Chansey. We talked about earlier. I don't remember what number that is. I think it's better than Chansey and Blissey.
I think so.
Chansey's at 210.
Blissey's at 198.
Okay, so we're at least in the top 200 here.
How much do we want to factor in like legacy? I mean, as far as like general like mainstream audiences recognizing a Pokemon, Jigglypuff is nobody touches Pikachu, but Jigglypuff is pretty high up there, probably somewhere around like Mewtwo level of like regular Joe recognizing the Pokemon. It's got to count for something, right?
Yeah, it's probably like Pikachu, Eevee, and then Jigglypuff / Mewtwo. I think there's quite a few that are probably on that kind of level, but
Charizard.
Yeah. Wordle. Which I do think that's a factor. I mean, a lot of Pikachu's presence on this list came from just how recognizable he is. He's not like a super original design or anything, but obviously he's the face of Pokemon and has been for a long time.
So where's Pikachu
at? Fat Pikachu, very specifically, is at number 87.
Best Pikachu. I think at least above Stuffle at 190.
Well, we're already above that because we're above Blissey.
Blissey's at 190.
I thought it was 189. Yeah, I'm fine with above Stuffle.
What's 150? We're cracking the top 150 with Jigglypuff. What's at 150?
150's Galarian Corsola.
Again, I don't know what
which has a great environmental message.
Yeah, it's a ghost of...
Okay, well, I know Corsola from New Pokemon Snap, so I'm looking at this one. It's like a albino Corsola. Okay. It's pretty cool. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know the lore behind this Pokemon, but design-wise, looking at it, like I would put Jigglypuff above this thing.
See,
it's blasphemous. Let me know.
I think I wouldn't go above Rockruff, though, at 151, who was an adorable puppy with the rock necklace.
He is adorable, but I'd probably go above him.
I mean, it's just a puppy. It's a puppy, but it's just a puppy.
Tell him, Chris. No, I'm just kidding.
Puppy
I like
that likes to
he's adorable.
love on you with his little rocks on his neck, and he scratches you sometimes because he wants to love you too much.
Yeah, that sounds.
Jigglypuff's gonna put you to sleep and then draw a penis on your face with a Sharpie.
Sounds like college.
Draw like combustion on your face.
Oh my god, I would be surprised if they had not done that at some point. I guess they probably didn't, but they really should have just like brought Jigglypuff back after Combuskin was introduced, sing somebody to sleep, and just draw a Combuskin. It's just a picture of a Pokemon. It's totally fair. She forgot the arms and legs.
Mm-hmm. They were starting to wake up, had to run away.
Another singing musical Pokemon we have on the list is Oricorio at 131. It's like a singing bird Pokemon.
I thought there was a dancing bird Pokemon.
Yeah, he's a dancing, singing. It's all the same, right?
Where's Meloetta? That's the music. 101.
Mm-hmm. I'd probably go above. I like Jigglypuff.
Okay.
Well, we're way above where I was trying to put her. We're cracking the top 100 now.
Not necessarily, Ryan. If you and Ryan agree, no, then not necessarily.
Well, I'm looking at Meloetta. I'm not digging this thing. I mean, it's fine. I don't want to trash a Pokemon we're not ranking today, but I would put Jigglypuff above Meloetta.
I probably would have stopped below Meloetta, but if both of you were saying above, then...
So what's right above Meloetta?
Eternatus, the like big legendary from Gen 8.
Yeah.
He's like a weird big space dragon.
Oh, I think it's wild looking. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty rad.
Yeah, maybe right below. Just barely falling out of the top 100 there. Let's do it.
I can live with that. A new 101 Jigglypuff. Great job. You didn't crack the top 100s, so you got to keep working on that pop star vibe.
She's gonna be mad. She's gonna sing some people to sleep.
Oh no. Well, you know what? I could use that. It's been hard to get to sleep this past week. Thank you, Jigglypuff, for coming on the show. You'll be a star soon. I'm sure of it. Next on the list, a personal favorite, Quilava, the Volcano Pokemon.
This is a middle evolution. Curious what Chris has to say.
Not the worst middle evolution out there. I don't think it's horrible, but probably the worst of the three of this Pokemon. I mean, you got Cyndaquil, which has the cute factor, Typhlosion, which has the cool factor, and this guy kind of stuck in between. I do like the Mohawk. One super weird thing about all three of these designs is every form I've seen them in, which is Pokemon Go and New Pokemon Snap, that anytime they're in 3D, their fire is like two-dimensional. It's super flat, and they always display it that way, like very intentionally. And I think that is so strange, especially when it's on Typhlosion. He's got that neck fire that is just flat, like a piece of paper. And it's a very conscious decision they made that is strange. I don't love that part of it, but
yeah. Game Freak has done my boy dirty as well by frequently showing them with just red spots without flames sticking out. And it makes me want to hurt some of the devs at Game Freak, honestly, because that is not... it's so improper.
On Pokemon Go, for Typhlosion for sure, I know you have to like tap on the Pokemon for it to do the animation, and that's when the fire comes out. Yeah, it's not like constantly out, which lore-wise, is that ever addressed? Is it supposed to always have fire out? So I'm reading my handbook here. To keep opponents from getting too close, Quilava heats up the air around it by flaring the flames on its body. It's extremely nimble and good at dodging. So either it doesn't have flames so it wants to, or just makes the flames larger when it wants to. Maybe it's always...
But that was never the way it was shown in the generation it was introduced. Anytime that Pokemon was out, always had flames up. Any of the forms. They would flare a little bit, shrink and grow, but they were always there.
You talking about in the games, like
in Gen 2 when Cyndaquil was first brought out.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's just because there was no animation yet. I feel like
they could have like just blinked it off and back.
Also, the only time
be,
you see
fully
it,
animated.
the only time you see it in the game is if you're actively battling, right? So you don't ever see one just chilling.
Even in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, when they're following behind you, they always have flame on their back.
Okay, fair.
Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they're mad.
I don't like them anymore.
Okay, we're going down the list. No,
regardless, I think for the sake of ranking it, we're ranking the way it looks fully flared up, right? We're looking at like its coolest form. So I like this guy. I mean, do we have Cyndaquil or Typhlosion on the list yet? No, right?
Oh, we've got Typhlosion on the list.
Typhlosion, he's probably pretty high, huh? Where's Typhlosion at?
38, which is criminally low still, in my opinion.
Well, Quilava's not coming close.
No, I don't think so.
What do you think about the name? So obviously he's got the heat thing going on. So Cyndaquil. So it's like a porcupine and cinder, like fire. Quill lava. So we keep the quill and now lava, which I mean that's kind of loose. This thing's clearly fire, not lava.
They call him the volcano Pokemon though.
Yeah, why?
I mean, why anything in this at this point?
I feel for that because like on the same page here of my handbook, I've got a Pokemon called Quilladin, and it's the spiny armor Pokemon. You can tell like in the beginning, like, oh, Pikachu, he's the mouse Pokemon. Like it's super simple. By the time you got like 500 Pokemon, they have to get so specific with their little nickname, or I don't even know what you call that title. So yeah, I don't know what's volcano about this guy. Nothing in the lore that I've seen is volcano. He doesn't actually have lava. If he like spit lava instead of fire, that'd be pretty rad, but he doesn't. I'm just making up cool stuff that he could have. So
yeah, I mean, well, I think where the volcano comes from is actually the thing that Ryan doesn't like, which is that it's like has little holes where it spurts that fire out of, like eruptions.
No, it's not that I dislike the holes. It's that they regularly display this Pokemon with no fire coming out of them at all for extended periods of time.
I understand.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Now we do have that Quilladin on the list, way down at 224, and I think we can all agree, probably, that this goes above that.
Yes.
Yes.
I like the Mohawk. I think it's cool. The tail isn't as inspired as the Mohawk, but I like that it has a fire Mohawk. I mean, that alone, that's pretty rad. It's got a Mohawk made out of fire. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, it's pretty good. How about a Combuskin comparison at 189? Both middle stage fire forms.
Keep going up.
Above Combuskin, yeah.
Okay, Croconaw, the water middle starter from Gen 2 at 173.
I go below.
I like this more than Croconaw, but
You'd put this at number 2 below Typhlosion if you could.
I'd probably put it top 50. I think Tyranitar's number 2, right below Typhlosion. If I was making this list alone.
You know what I hate about Croconaw is like the caveman design. And
you don't like that?
I don't like that.
Oh, that's a plus in our eyes.
Okay, well, I like this one even more, so let's keep going up.
All right, I'm down for going up though.
We have Braixen at number
down
154.
for going up.
That's another mid-evolution fire, Braixen.
Let me look at Braixen again, because I think we are starting to get to the limits of Quilava's.
I like Braixen. I like this.
I do like Braixen.
Okay, so I agree, below Braixen. And then we have Prinplup, a middle water evolution, which honestly I could go above that. That's definitely the worst of that line. It's just
I think right in the middle there is good then.
I agree.
All right.
Excellent.
A new 155 Quilava. Good boy. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Next up, we've got Slowbro, the classic derp. The Hermit crab Pokemon? I see no claws.
Man, lore-wise, this is another one that drives me nuts. It's got like a Pokemon on its tail, and that's how it evolves.
Shelter.
So whenever it evolves, does it manifest a Shelter, or like when a Shelter decides to bite him, all of a sudden it's a new Pokemon? What does this mean?
Yeah, I think in the anime it is a Shelter bites Slowpoke's tail, and that's when it evolves into Slowbro, which is weird.
And then it just holds on to its tail forever?
Yeah, it's a part of it now. It's basically a fusion.
That's what Shelter's life has come to? Yeah, it's a little too abstract of a concept. I mean, I'm not into that. I'll say that. I'm not into like combining with another Pokemon, and that creates. And why is it Slowbro? Why is this not an evolution for Shelter? Why isn't this an advanced form of Shelter? Shelter is now controlling a Slowpoke, essentially. Why is this, an evolution for Slowpoke, but not for Shelter?
Yeah.
I'm not asking you guys to have these answers. These are the questions I have when I look at this design, and I don't think it's working in the Pokemon's favor.
Yeah, I know Holden will probably be upset, but I don't like this thing very much, and I'm okay with putting it low. I know Holden's a big slow line defender, I guess, but mostly Slow King, who is cool, but
he looks the coolest, Slow King, but
yeah.
Slowbro, I like that he has bro in the name. I guess that's kind of cool. My book says, thanks to Shelter's poisonous bite, Slowbro has grown even more scatterbrained, content to stare at the sea and let its mind wander. It's occasionally startled into a moment of insight, but that moment passes just as quickly. So it's dumb. Dumb Pokemon that looks at the water. This guy doesn't have much going for him.
Ryan, you've been very quiet.
Yeah, because there's not much going on. It can't. So I guess Slowpoke used to use its tail to fish for food, and now it can't because Slowpoke's on its tail, so it's got to like swim around begrudgingly. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
I feel like between the cute and cool factor, they're going for cute, and I don't find them that cute.
Yeah, I agree.
Mostly derpy.
Yeah, we should also mention he is one of the playable Pokemon in Pokemon Unite, but I don't like that game anymore, so I don't care.
He does have Cinnabuns for ears. That's kind of fun.
It's true.
Yeah. You could probably eat those. Which I know we all love talking about eating Pokemon.
Do we eat Slowpoke tail, not ears?
That's true. We eat Slowpoke tail, but Slowbro ears. Okay.
Okay. All right. Fair. Because we can't get to the tail anymore.
Yeah. Good luck getting that thing off. We have the Galarian forms on here pretty low.
So he can no longer fish, and he's dumber. How is this an evolution? Like, this is like an evolution that goes backwards? He's a worse Pokemon now, yeah?
A devolution.
Oh.
Yeah, the Galarians are 364 and 365.
Yeah. I think I even like Galarian Slowpoke at 378 more than regular Slowbro.
Oh, he's dropping.
I don't know. I think I might go above Galarian Slowpoke, but not Gigantamax Dreadnought.
Okay. I could accept that compromise.
Because Galarian Slowpoke's just Slowpoke with a little bit of yellow.
Yeah, he's not very inspired. True. Well, let's go with it then. 378.
All right. New 378 Slowbro. That's just as far as you could make it up the list, buddy, before you got distracted. Next up, we've got Simipour. Forgot about these things.
Yeah, Gen 4, I believe it was. They had a water, fire, and grass, like the monkeys. And I think you got the opposite of whichever starter you picked, basically, to make sure you had your type coverage.
Gen 5, actually.
Okay.
This just looks like a 1950s housewife, right?
I can see that.
Yeah, it's got the sweeping tail like our other guy, but it probably uses it for housework.
Now, I'm looking at all three of these: Simipour, Simisage, and Simisear. I think Simipour is probably the weakest. Why are the eyes like that? It's got these dead eyes. The other two aren't like that, but Simipour has no pupils, seemingly, or the pupils are white. It looks like a coloring book that's not finished. I don't like those eyes.
I think the eyes are. It's supposed to be like closed, like a cheerful hello, like this. But it doesn't really work because the eyes are just still pure white.
Yeah, it's got even worse Brock syndrome.
Where's Brock on the list? This is worse than Brock. I
did not expect the tail to be mentioned so specifically so many times in Pokedex entries. The tuft on its head holds water. When the level runs low, it replenishes the tuft by siphoning up water with its tail.
Oh, so it's a mop.
That's gross. Its tail's like a straw, like it sucks water through its tail. I don't like that.
Yeah, right up to its head.
No.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm also kind of down on that.
So Panpour is pretty cute. I would, theoretically rank Panpour above this guy. Simipour doesn't have a cute factor or a cool factor. Is there any from this line that are on our list yet? You have Simisear or Simisage on the list?
No, that's the first one.
Okay. Well, this is kind of a dud for me.
Yeah, it's low. It's in the 400s, I think.
I think that's fair. We've got I don't know.
It's not in the territory of like it's just a mess and I can't make sense of it. I see the design. I see what they're going for. I just don't love it. So it's above those mess of a Pokemon, I think, but just not inspired, not fun.
How do we feel about a Seal comparison at 401?
I mean, I think more effort was put into this thing than Seal.
That's true, but I don't think the effort was well spent.
That's true.
I think that's fair. We got Seadra at 407.
I definitely like Seadra more.
I like Seadra more.
I think that's also fair. Surskit, Tympole, other water types. Less than Surskit, maybe more than Tympole?
Yeah, Tympole is just a tadpole. Like literally, there's nothing.
Oh, with just terrible eyebrows.
Yeah, I can see that. Below Surskit, above Tympole.
Does that feel good, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. New 413 Simipour. There's some kids coming over tonight, so you better get started on dinner. Next on the list, we've got Machoke.
Hell yeah. Love this guy. Now, to be fair, it's a middle evolution and probably my least favorite design of the three, but that's just because the other two were so good. You got Machop, got the cute factor, and he's cool because he fights. And then Machamp, just the original badass of the Pokemon world. Machoke is right below him, though. Machoke doesn't have the 4 arms. His name, I gotta talk about this, though. I don't like that name. Like, Machop, I get, right? Is Chop, Karate Chop, I got it. Machamp, he's the champ. He's got a belt. Machoke? When I think of, like, fighting, when I think of, like, combat sports, I don't think of choking. To me, choking goes to, like, violence, like a criminal or domestic abuse. Like, I don't think of, like I said, combat sports when I think of choke. So I don't love the name. I think they could have found some move besides the choke to give this guy. But other than that, I mostly like this design.
Yeah, I would guess they're going for like a chokehold in wrestling.
Yeah, I know it's a real thing. I just, maybe the problem is me and not the name, but that's just not the first thing I think of when I think of choking.
No, especially not for Machoke. Like, these seem like punching Pokemons, not like grappling Pokemons.
If anything, you think Machamp would be the grappler because he has 4 arms, so that'd clearly be like a, specialty of his.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So his the slits on his arms, is that just like is that rising above the skin? Is it like an extra design, like for tension, like when he's grappling or something, or are those cuts on his arms? Because that's what they've always looked like, but I'm pretty sure that's not what they're supposed to be, because that's very disturbing for Pokemon.
In one picture in the anime, they look pretty level with the rest of its skin.
Yeah,
I
so it's
wonder
just
if
a
there's
design.
stretch marks like body lifters. Body
Maybe.
lifters. What's a body lifter? Bodybuilders have when they gain muscle too fast, they get like, you know, stretch marks. Because maybe that's what it is. Just don't tell me they're veins. Whenever y'all covered that veiny
Girder.
Pokemon, oh god, yeah, that was hard to listen to. They almost look like gills, which makes no sense. But I guess it's just design. It's just I don't really know if it's supposed to represent anything other than just red lines on his arms.
Interesting. Yeah, the the bad news is, the good news is we have Machamp and Machop on this list. The bad news is they're at 98 and 353, so quite.
Whoa, who's at 353?
Machop.
Why? What's wrong? Okay, well, what's the story on Machop? Why do we hate Machop?
I don't think he's very cute or very cool personally.
Okay,
And I never use him.
That's fair. That's fair. But we got to do our boy Machoke better than that. I mean, he's got a champion belt, which is kind of interesting. They didn't save that from Machamp. You think that would be the defining thing of Machamp, but they give it to this guy too. Any idea what the P stands for? Is that in any of our lore?
Not the P specifically, but that belt is mentioned many times, and I like Emerald's take on it. A belt is worn by a Machoke to keep its overwhelming power under control. Because it is so dangerous, no one has ever removed the belt.
Incredible.
So it's like a power limiter.
So all these things could just like take off their belts at once and take over the world. That's pretty cool.
We should weld these belts on.
It's interesting that seemingly only Machoke has almost like a reptilian or dinosaur snout. You don't really see that in any of the other two designs. So I don't know why they do it here, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah, you would expect he's like turning into a dragon fighting type.
Yeah.
But then they don't go there.
I like his hair, the blades on his head. It reminds me of like King Koopa from the Super Mario Bros. Movie. At the end, his hair.
Yeah. I mean, let's jump right to the big obvious comparison. Combuskin. Above Combuskin.
Better than Combuskin.
Never gonna get that Pokemon out of his head now. Crabrawler at 159. Another like fist fighting Pokemon.
I'd go below personally.
That's tough. Crabrawler's cool. I know that guy from New Pokemon Snap. He's kind of got a cool and cute factor going, which is rare in Pokemon. I think me personally, I would go Machoke, but I wouldn't argue with Crabrawler going higher. So what's right below Crabrawler?
Mega Absol. I think I would also go below Crabrawler. I like that design more.
Yeah. And I would definitely say above Rhydon, which is one more below Mega Absol.
You think go even lower than Rhydon?
No, I would go above Rhydon.
Above Rhydon? Okay. So it's just a matter of Absol or Mega Absol?
Yeah, Mega Absol.
Mega Absol's pretty cool. Got the emo hair thing going.
I'd lean below, personally.
Yeah. You can go below that.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot between Mega Absol and Rhydon. A new 161 Machoke, great job. But if you're going to call yourself Machoke, you need to learn some jujitsu, all right? Some grappling techniques. You can't just be punching fools. Next on the list, we've got Fracture, the Axe Jaw Pokemon.
Axe Jaw. Its head looks like an airplane is the first thing I think of. And it's weird.
I don't like. Are those teeth? Like, how inconvenient is that? What are they for? I don't love it.
Yeah, I love this thing's final evolution, but this thing is weird. This is a weird middle evolution. Surprise!
Yeah, a lot of middle evolutions today. if those things were going down, almost like a saber-toothed tiger, like they're too big for its mouth, but it still looks cool, I think I would like it more. Or if they can move it from like down to sideways, something. But just going straight out sideways like that, I don't see the practicality. I don't think it looks cool.
Yeah.
I think this thing's kind of a mess. I don't think it knows what it wants to be. It kind of looks like it's got like a hard shell, like a bug. Kind of looks like it's a drawing from like a dinosaur on its bottom half. I think it's kind of a mess.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like when you describe this thing as what is it, axe jaw? You said Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I assume that the things jutting out from its mouth is supposed to somehow be an axe, but even knowing that, I cannot find it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can find it on the last evolution.
Yeah,
but not here.
What do we have for lore?
A broken tusk will not grow back, so it diligently sharpens its tusks on a river rocks after the end of a battle, which is repeated frequently.
So they are tusks. They just like jut straight out to the side. Interesting.
Yeah. Which seems a little counterproductive, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, can this thing fly, you think? Does it like jump off a cliff and try to fly with like an airplane?
If this thing learns fly, I'm not going to play another Pokemon. No, it can't learn fly.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't as cute as the first form, and it's not as this is a really bad middle form. I'm scrolling down.
Yeah. I think it's better than like the huge freaks, like, you know, Arctovish and Gigantamax Flapple we looked at earlier and that stuff.
Yeah. How about Hoopa at 368?
Below.
How about Turtonator?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a hard one.
At 372.
I'd probably go below.
See, I could go above Turtonator. I agree below Hoopa, but I could go above Turtonator.
I think I'm leaning Turtonator. It's dumb. It deserves to be so low on the list, but I got a soft spot for turtles, and it does something for me. Function wise, I can see how it works as opposed to this thing we're looking at.
Have you seen the front of Turtonator?
I'm scrolling through Google now, and why doesn't he turn around? No, all I see is back.
Oh, okay. I'll share a front picture.
You don't want to see his front. It's not good.
I got you. I'm going to put
the star on his belly. Is that what?
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a star.
Yeah.
Which is its weak point.
Yeah, that's why it's always facing its back. Also, the fact that like what looks like a mustache in his key art is not a mustache, but like his bottom lip. It's like a weird chin strap beard thing.
I see.
Yeah.
So we want to go above Turtonator then? What's right above Turtonator?
Delcatty, which is a cat, but like a dumb looking one. It's like, what if a cat was not cute anymore?
Yeah, I don't love the Delcatty, but I would probably put it above Fracture because
I think that's still fair.
Yeah, I think between Delcatty and Turtonator is a good spot. A new 372 for Fracture. Honestly, you just need to actually have an axe jaw, because A, those axes aren't on your jaw, and B, they're not axes. But that does it for the list of 20 random Pokemon that the science machine threw at me violently after last week's recording. Chris, though, informed us he wouldn't come on if he didn't bring a Pokemon of his own for this week's ranking. Chris, who was your choice to bring with you to rank this evening?
Well, it's obviously a big decision and a big honor to bring a Pokemon. I put a lot of thought into it. Immediately, my mind went two directions, right? You can either bring a Pokemon you love and talk about your passion for it and get it ranked, or bring a Pokemon you don't like and make sure it gets buried. And honestly, that was kind of my first thought. But thankfully, someone did that work for me. Because Klefki is like the worst design. It represents a creative bankruptcy in the Pokemon company. It is the dumbest concept, the dumbest execution. It's offensive as a Pokemon fan. You can't rank it below Jinx for reasons we talked about, but I would put it one step above Jinx. But I know that was already discussed, and someone did that work for me. It's been buried, and I'm glad Klefki is nice and low where they belong. Right? Where's Klefki at on this list? Pretty low, right?
435.
Oh yeah, bury that thing. Horrible, horrible. It's like whatever creative team had to come up with Pokemon. Like one guy like overslept, didn't think of anything, and he reached in his pockets and like, oh, this was my idea, guys, and he created a key Pokemon. It makes me angry to talk about. So again, I'm glad that's taken care of. So I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna go with Pokemon I am most passionate about. And of course, like we talked about, Gen 1, that's my time. And my starter when I played Pokemon Red was Charmander. And I love this little guy. So let's go through how I rank these Pokemon, right? First, we got creativity. I love it. Now it's simple because creative doesn't have to mean complex. It's a simple design. It's a little dragon, which of course this guy never gets dragon type. That's a whole other conversation. But it obviously, you think lizard, you think reptile, you think dragon, and it works. And cuteness, it's off the scale. I mean, those first starters were all pretty cute, but Charmander, of course, is my guy. Relatability, yeah, you instantly recognize what type of animal this is. And one more thing about creativity, the little, little touch, the little special touch of that fire on its tail is so cool. Like we almost like, it's hard to appreciate how cool that is now. Like this deep into Pokemon and all the different designs they come up with, but like this little fire on its tail is so cool. They actually repeated it. They used it again for that monkey fire Pokemon later that I'm not as familiar with, but he also has a fire tail. But I think that's just a super cool concept because usually dragons, they breathe fire out their mouth, they put it on his tail. Simple but cool. And yeah, cuteness off I love the name. I love the whole line of names. Even Charmeleon, it was kind of weird to say. I love the Charmander. You get the Char, you get the Salamander, Charmeleon, Charizard. I know we're all fans of Charizard. Mega Charizard is ranked super high. I think this guy deserves to be high. I mean, he's got a strong legacy. He's very recognizable. He's one of the original starters. He's super cute. I got nothing bad to say about him. And I love this guy. We'll talk about his rank a little bit, but guys, please tell me, what do you think about this cute little guy?
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I love him in the anime. I don't know if you guys ever watched the anime, but like Ash gets his Charmander, and it's like I only vaguely remember this, but it's like in a rainstorm in the middle of nowhere, like hiding under a rock or something, and it's just so fucking depressing. Its fire's about to go out and it's about to die or something, and Ash saves it, and they have a great moment. And then, like, it's processed through the freaking anime of evolving into Charmeleon and being kind of grumpy, and then evolving into Charizard and just not listening to him at all anymore until they finally become friends, and it becomes like his best Pokemon, which is awesome. But that original like episode of him getting Charmander is one of the best. It's great.
I think everybody can picture that. Everybody knows that image of Charmander huddling up in the cave as it rains. And that show really popularized the lore of if his fire goes out, he dies, which is pretty terrifying.
Which I think is more when it dies, the fire goes out, not if the fire goes out, it dies. In my mind, a little correlation causation action. Yeah, this is a great Pokemon. It's a great starter. Of course, it's not necessarily my favorite from that gen, but this is one of the strongest starters still to this day, I would say. Maybe my favorite of the whole line, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say maybe this is why Bulbasaur is so low in my mind, because there's such a special episode for the meeting with Charmander and such a special episode for the meeting with Squirtle, and I don't really remember how he meets Bulbasaur. I don't remember it being a special thing.
You just don't like Bulbasaur.
I mean, that's true.
As a water starter stan, Chris, you just don't like grass types. That's it.
I like some grass types. I helped put Decidueye at the top of this list.
And you still haven't used one.
Charmander also has a nice shade of orange. I think this might be a shiny they have up there, but Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard are all slightly different shades of orange, and I think Charmander hits the right shade for me. Looking all three of them side by side, but Chris, if you will, just to this will give you a good idea of where I want this guy to end up, hopefully. But could you please list the top 5 Pokemon on the list right now?
Decidueye, Mega Charizard X, Shuckle, Galarian Articuno, and Mega Rayquaza.
Those are some good Pokemon. You got a good list going here. Let me tell you, who between the two of you is fighting for Shuckle to be at number 3?
Me.
Okay. You know what? Shuckle's a great Pokemon. I love turtles. I mentioned earlier. I have some pet turtles. My only pets are 2 turtles. I've listened to the show before, and I've heard guests come on and try to attack Shuckle and talk about how ridiculous it is up so high. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to attack Shuckle. He deserves a spot high in this list. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, maybe he'll still be top 10. Maybe he'll still be top 5. I think today he should be top 4. I do not see a world where Shuckle ranks above Charmander.
I do. You're gonna have to argue with Ryan and get him to agree with you. I will say you kind of had me going there, stroking my ego a little bit, and I thought you were gonna say, let's just put him right below Shuckle, and I would have been like, you know what, you're a smart man, let's do it. But then you had to try to crush Shuckle, and I don't know about that.
I'm not trying to crush him. I think he's going to rank very high at the end of the day. I think he's not going to get knocked out of the top 10 spot. You got hundreds of Pokemon to go, right? He's not going to stay at 3 forever. That's just reality, just the numbers, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if Charmander takes the 3 spot, he probably won't be 3 at the end of the day. More Pokemon are going to get added. But the list as it is right now, Charmander is off the charts with cuteness. He's one of the rare 3 forms where the first form might be outranking the third one, like we talked about. He's a starter. He's a legacy. A mainstream audiences recognize him. I mean, any category you look at, he doesn't have a weakness.
I think this is gonna have to come between you two guys, because I definitely like Squirtle a lot more, and we have him down at like 60 something. But I like anytime somebody brings a Pokemon on the show, they're obviously very passionate about that, and we want to give that a lot of credit. So I think it's going much higher than that. I don't know. I could see him above Charizard, which we have at 19.
Yeah.
But I can't see him that high. But Ryan, you have power here, and I know how bitter you are about Shuckle.
I am a little bitter about Shuckle. I don't know. I do think this goes above Charizard at 19. I like the cute factor of Charmander more than I like, and I think Charizard's a little overplayed by a lot of people. I personally, for me, but Charmander doesn't get that same level of hype built around him because he's the first form. So I don't have that issue. Where I start running into issues personally is Blastoise at number 11.
Which is cool factor. So we're pitting cool against cute here if we're going to compare Blastoise to Charmander.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not here to rank Blastoise. I'm not going to rag on him because I do like him. I think he's cool. I love turtles. I really genuinely, I like turtles a lot. I like turtle designs. Something about cannons. It's very like inorganic thing coming out of an organic shell. That design always bothered me, like these metal cannons coming out of it. It's cool. I get what they're going for, but ultimately the cool out. Yeah, it's not bringing him down too much. But that's just kind of a flaw I see in that design that I don't see in Charmander. I've got nothing bad to say about Charmander. I mean, this is the team effort. This list. If this was my personal list, he's probably number 1. I get that's not going to happen. Hey, when we're done with this discussion, we might not be top 5 like I'm pushing for. I get it. The first rule in negotiating is you ask for too much so you can accept where you want to actually end up. So
it's fair.
I like him. Chris, weigh in on Charmander versus Blastoise. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I'm a big Blastoise stan, but I do kind of hear what you're saying with the cannons like being inorganic, and it's kind of weird. I just also think it's cool, and I think a lot of that is nostalgia. I think if Blastoise came out today, I'd be like, what the fuck is this weirdo? But I can't erase that nostalgia.
Especially like there's like this square opening where the cannon comes out, and there's like a gap around it, and it's like, can I reach my hand in there? Is there something in there? Is it gooey? I don't like. There's a hole. There's a hole in the Pokemon. That's weird. So that's number 11. Okay, so what's 6 through 10? Remind us.
Mega Garchomp, Darkrai, Mega Gengar, Mega Lucario, Gigantamax Gengar, and Blastoise.
Okay, listen. This top 10 you guys have here is dominated by the cool factor, which isn't necessarily a problem. Cool is important. Not a lot of cute representation in the top.
This man's making sense, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's why we got Shuckle in there.
A little bit cute.
Mega Lucario is probably like a very hard stopping point for me. I mean, even normal Lucario would probably be a stopping point, but we're already above that. So I don't know. I could bring it in there. In the top 10, get some more cuteness going in the top 10.
Yeah, I could do that. So you're thinking number 10?
Yeah, I think number 10.
I mean, do you think anyone in the world is going to have a problem with a Gen 1 starter being in the top 10? It makes sense, right?
No, but we like the hate now. Man, I don't know. That does feel good. Yeah, let's do it. As long as that's acceptable, Chris.
It is very acceptable. Yes. Oh, to other Chris.
Both Chris's.
I mean, so what number does that put Charmander at?
10.
Okay, cracks the top 10. You know what? I like it. And congratulations, Shuckle. You live to fight another day at number 3.
Someday we'll dethrone you, Shuckle. But that does it for our list of 21 Pokemon tonight. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. This was a blast.
It was a Blastoise. This was a lot of fun. I love the show. I love listening, and you know what? I love being on it too. Apparently, I loved talking some Pokemon today. It really opened my eyes. Some of those eyes I wish I could now close to these Pokemon you've opened my eyes to, but this was super fun to talk about these designs and these characters and rank them, as it were.
Yeah, it's a great excuse to shoot the shit about this thing we've all been playing for a long time. This been permeated all of culture for decades at this point. Do you have anything you'd like to plug? Let the people know about?
Oh, sure. So if you would, please check out my podcast. It's called Best of the Rest. It is a podcast about superhero movies, but not, the great ones. It's about the rest of them. So each week we take a second look at a superhero movie that was poorly received upon release, but we challenge ourselves, me and my co-host, Andrew Williams, challenge ourselves to only talk about the positives, only talk about the things we like in the movie and what genuinely works. So movies like Batman and Robin we've covered. We just recently did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Daredevil, Hulk, the kind of movies that most people like the trash and put up negative reviews about. We dig deep to try stuff, say good things about it. And it's sometimes a challenge, as we like to say, but I promise you it's always a good time. Check us out.
Fantastic. Everyone definitely be sure to check out Best of the Rest podcast. I can't wait to give it a listen myself. Personal Chris, do we have anything we need to plug?
Yes. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to get that YouTube subscriber number up to at least 50 so that we can tell you the link to YouTube, because you cannot make a custom YouTube link without hitting 50 subs. So if you're already on our YouTube channel, please subscribe. And if you're listening to this on your podcast service, we will have the link in the show notes. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And check out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Blunkers, where we stream a lot of things many days of the week. Chris, myself, and Tom all have some regularly scheduled streams. Tom's is a little wild right now because he's got 4 kids going back to school, so life is extremely hectic for that poor man. All the luck to him. I'm sure he'll be back at some point in the near future to a somewhat regular schedule for that. But Chris and myself are Resident Evil, Pokemon. Every Sunday we play something. There's Alcoholic Ascent right now on Saturdays. We're doing a lot on that Twitch channel. We'd love for you to come hang out with us. And thank you so much for hanging out with us this week as we continue to finalize the most important decisions of our lives. I hope this week finds you well until we reconvene next week. Just remember, gotta rank 'em all.
Gotta rank 'em all, Pokemon.